Episode 169, not of the longest running episodic. It's the podcast episode.
We're catching the other one though.
Oh, we're working on it. Listen, man, working on it, little at a time. Hold on, we'll get the overlay going here. Bam! That's how you know it's serious. Got the overlay. Watch for live Bref Havre in the corner. But yes, I did already get a question. It's like, is the live going to be like a normal thing? Look, here's what I've decided. I've decided that the live is an open option if there's no specific topic. And Brandon, what some astute observers may notice is that I've got the thumbnail for like the podcast. I updated the number, but if someone pays attention, in brackets it says insert topic here. That's because I don't have a set topic, but if in the course of this thing I come up with a clever title, then I'll re-upload the thumbnail with a clever title. But I don't have one yet.
You know, it would almost be, I think, interesting to see the reaction if we did have like a members peek into the unpreparedness that this show adjusts. There's never a topic, and when there is a topic, it's a last minute decision topic, and we don't plan this out. This is the unplanned podcast.
I don't think anyone is clutching their pearls with this information at the moment.
Eric, you're going to find out. All of a sudden, everyone's like, "Oh my God, there will be riots in the streets." Not even in Vancouver. There'll be riots in the streets outside your house.
Oh my!
People will be like, "What is happening? What is happening right now?"
But see, it's so well done and professionally presented each week that I think that they may think that we're just lying and that this is just an extension of the shtick. They don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Brandon, look, I don't understand what you're talking about. Everything that has happened here is perfectly coordinated and planned.
Yeah.
Everything. Every individual, like, look, right there. Baba Louie's been sitting there the whole time.
You brought up preparedness. I figured I better show up.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Louie, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Yeah, you guys too.
Let me remove the overlay here so we can see Louie in his glory with his title and everything. It's important. We got to have the Baba Louie branding. It's important.
There's a lot of green in your background. You get something on the wall. I can't quite make it out. It looks like you got like
that's a Medano picture there. See, I got a Medano picture here, and he's got a Minnesota Medano picture on the side.
Is it? Oh no, it's not. That's a North Star jersey on that.
It's the Minnesota.
Yeah, I thought it was a Green Power Ranger Lego figure, but it looks like a North Star Lego figure.
Look at him. Nice.
Oh, he's got the Medano 9 on the back. I like it. It's nice.
Interesting.
Was that something you had made, or is that something you could purchase?
You can purchase. We had a few that were made for us, and then a couple other guys went out and had the young man. He 3D prints them. I'll get you guys the information. They're kind of cool.
Yeah. Nice. I like it. So we'll get caught up. They could fit in. We'll get caught up with Louie here in a second, but thank you everybody in the chat. You guys are already firing away, so let me quickly acknowledge you. Give me Josh says, welcome to Because I'm Carlos Podcast Live. That's right. You know the score, Josh. Carl from Oz. Ozzy. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. 11:50 a.m. tomorrow. He's in the future. In the Australia lands.
Ooh.
Good evening to you. Mike here says, Eric, don't be hating. Be participating. My future adjacency brother. Adjacency 2027 is in effect. Good evening, Stephen with PH. Let's see here. Getting there. Excellent. Good evening, Jeff. Gave the video a like. Appreciate you. I know you guys are chatting amongst yourselves, so I'll skip through some of the comments just here. Mayo for everyone. Thank you, Ham. That's a nice thing for you to say. Appreciate you.
Mayo is perfect on a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
No.
These are facts.
And a hamburger.
Hamburger. Yeah. Good one, Louie.
Oh.
Sensational. I like it. Good evening, Keith. Good stuff. Thank you all. So yeah, it was an impromptu live because I've decided, Louie, every time that I don't have anything resembling an idea, obviously this carefully coordinated plan notwithstanding, then I'll be like, yeah, let's just go live. Because I like doing the lives anyway. Now, one thing I like to do with my lives is that I don't like to have excessive dead air. Not that I've ever seen that. I could put an auction in the corner if it'll help somebody.
Ooh.
Anybody want me to like put some random auctions? We can click off on and off.
Will Eric crash out?
Only if the only thing we do is like we're going to specifically avoid. What if we just start watching Reggie Lemon on auctions? What if we just do that?
I'd lose it.
Are there any new cards out of him?
Yeah, there are always some cards, but they're pretty much all in Calgary Flames garb. And to be honest with you, what it would be is me going to eBay, typing it in, and it's like buy it now, best offer, and not selling. And then never selling.
Oh, look at that.
They technically exist. They do exist. But anyway, so thank you. So real quick, we're going to get into we're going to have the silly card of the week. We will have that in a moment. We do have some segments. Unfortunately, Louis, I don't have I tried to get the budget. I need to up Eric's like button money. I don't have the budget to have a fancy overlay, and I certainly don't have any slides. So no slides, no slides, no overlay. We're going to have to do it. But regardless, we'll manage. But first, before I do that, Louis, it's been a little bit since we've had you on. How are you? How are things?
Doing good. Things are good. Things are great. Things are busy.
I believe this. You guys still buried in the snows? You plowing your way out? What's going on over there?
No, it's been pretty quiet here for the last month. 50 degree, whatever that is in your goofy numbers, but it's been nice.
Warmer than here is what it is.
Sure.
It's been below 32, so it's been below the zeros. So it's been chilly for the last little bit.
Yeah, no, we've been actually pretty dry. Had a false alarm over the weekend, but hey, got paid for it, so it's all right.
I like it. Sounds good.
What else is new? Not a lot. Not
well,
anything you don't already know.
We got screwed over, Louis. We got completely screwed
By
everybody on the interwebs. Because we should have been like the top vote getter for the Hall of Fame voting, and we came in 11th. All right, so I am just rageful and very angry.
He's so angry he forgot that we're actually 9th, not 11th.
See how mad I am?
See, that's how bad it is, Brandon. He knocked us down 2 more levels, even though that's not true.
I'm mad.
Look, does it help you if your fellow countryman Sven speaking to you as the father tongue?
Who was your competition if you only got 9th?
Everybody else on the interwebs.
Oh.
It's a glorified popularity contest, Louis. It's basically like a bunch of vintage baseball card channels, and then basically it's whatever this is. I haven't decided yet. Someday we'll figure it out.
No,
Okay. Me too.
Yeah, so I'm hoping someday we'll know what's going on. Like, no idea, no clue. The upside though, it wasn't all bad. At the very least, we were able to have Eric destroy a kazoo with a hammer, so that was cool.
Oh, violence, perfect.
Yeah.
I had to take my fury out on something. I chose a kazoo.
I think that works out. I even mentioned Eric's adjacency with my nominations. Thank you, Stu. Appreciate
A lot
you.
of good that did you. Did it, huh? A lot of good that did you.
Look, Eric, I want to direct all my personal issues and my attention to Judas 8671, formerly known as Brad. We're gonna have discussions.
Yeah.
But regardless, it is busy times. What's funny is while the rest of it's quiet, I'm staying in the great indoors, avoiding the coldness outside. But it's going to be busy stuff on this channel. Next episode of Cardboard Cynics is going to be recorded this week. Dan will put it on his channel, so he'll get it uploaded whenever it's uploaded. And Eric, here's something for you. Here's something to get you excited. Something maybe begin the healing process for you.
I doubt it.
While I do not have the GOAT, I have someone who is GOAT adjacent, who I will be recording something with on this channel this week.
Don't wreck it.
GOAT adjacent. Foreshadowing.
Am I getting warm?
Perhaps.
Did you get Rupe hints?
Maybe. Steven says it's going to be warmer going into the weekend. I'm hoping
you were talking about the GOAT, Jason Robertson, right?
No one thinks he's a GOAT. Not a single living soul. His parents don't think he's a GOAT.
He is the best United States player. I'll be damned.
He couldn't even make the team.
He didn't need to. We still got gold. We gave everybody a chance. They didn't put the best United States player on the team. We still won. That proves a point.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe he should have gone for Team Philippines.
They didn't even play Ottinger.
I think now's a good time to show everybody my new card. Look at my new card.
He stole that from somebody and admitted it.
You would.
Little, yeah.
Look at my new card. Is that Jason Robinson up there? What? Oh yeah.
Look, I was impressed by the bottom left corner myself.
You didn't spend good money on that, did you?
He's
No, he literally spent no money, Louis. He says he received it. That's what happens when somebody goes to a shop and there's a little clause.
Yep. Look at that. That's my brand new card. It's my new favorite one.
I'm sure.
No, so a customer came in looking to sell cards. And I noticed that this was one of the things that they were selling, and the shop said, "Thank you, but no thank you. We're not interested in that." And I said,
They didn't have the cash on hand.
"Yeah, they didn't want that crap." So I said, "How much do you want for it?" He gave me a number, and I texted these two morons who collect Dallas Stars stuff.
I didn't see his.
Neither one of them responded.
Do you honestly think we read text messages coming from you?
So
Especially midday, like.
I need an answer within the next 5 minutes if either one of you are interested in this.
Yeah, 5
Nothing.
minutes.
All right, nothing. So the guy leaves. Well, all of a sudden he walks back in. We're like, "What's up?" "My car won't start." So he asked me
So you sabotaged his car. Continue.
to give him a jump start. So I gave it my very best effort. His car had more issues than just a drained battery.
Wait, so you didn't even succeed?
Nope. I pulled it out of there, and he gave it to me as a thank you for my efforts.
So you got a participation. Hold on. I'm going to bring it full circle. Since y'all on Gong Show had this discussion. So Eric, are you saying that you received a participation trophy for trying to help someone?
Yeah.
And how did that make you feel, Eric?
I get to go like this to Brandon. Ha ha.
So let's give full context here. It was 2:12 in the evening. Interested, $65. Not the stores, it's the customers trying to sell it. Need an answer in the next 5 minutes.
Brandon, though, the part that I didn't know originally. Look, this is not a joke. The reason I'm laughing is I didn't know that he failed to get the car going. I didn't realize
either, because he said
he didn't actually help the guy.
Nope.
Wait, here was his response. "Well, good thing I got it for free then. I had to jumpstart the guy's car and he gave it to me as a thank you." There was no...
That implied that you succeeded.
Yeah,
That implied that you helped the man.
I didn't want to type that much. I didn't care enough at the moment. I figured it would be a better story to tell live, so I held on to that piece.
Which part? The part that you did it and got the card for free, or the part you left out where you failed?
Failed and got the card for free.
Eric truly is our
And they had
case
to
study
put it
in
up.
failing up.
I had to tow it.
He truly fails up at all time. So you know what, Louis? Forget. You know what? All of y'all, you're wrong. Participation trophies are real, and there are still people receiving them. Forget about the children.
Well, we weren't talking special kids.
Oh, very special. Mm-hmm.
Don't forget us. We're still here.
Wow. So anyway, so I will be recording with goat adjacent Eric's goat, and then Steven is correct. I will be doing a live stream with Sammy Thunder and Jason. Now, my favorite part about that is that Sammy Thunder, formerly of the Four Collectors, who are never four, along with co-hosted by Jason, who is now the fourth collector, because again we can't count. So this is a Wally Pip Lou Gehrig situation, Brandon. Except I'm doing a live stream with both Wally Pip and Lou Gehrig. They decided to do a live stream together. It's very awkward. Not that I'd bring that up, but I'm just letting y'all know. Moving on. Carlos's goat is Louis' take collector, not mine. But I know who is. I know who is a big proponent.
Hey, the guy's the goat. You want to know how I can prove it? You just brought him up.
See? Robertson looked pretty good when I saw him play the Jets in person in Dallas. Good evening, Orlando. That's right. That's right, Steven. You got it. You know the score. But yes. So you see, we resolved the participation trophy situation. We fixed it. No problem. Done.
Everybody needs an Eric.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Eric, I got to tell you.
I have one question to put a full resolve on this.
Again, only one? I feel like there's multiple
if
questions.
If this was the case, it might make a little bit more sense. Did you use your AAA card to get the guy a tow truck or something? Or did he literally pay for the tow truck too? Like, he just had a bad...
I did offer. He politely declined and said he'd be able to take care of it himself. So no, I did nothing.
Yeah, after he saw you try, he's like, I'll just do it myself.
Secretly, Eric probably made the car have to be towed.
Well, so first of all, Brandon, I was suggesting sabotage from the get-go. Secondly, Louis, I can only assume that was a tip for entertainment, watching this man fail. Like at that point, it's just tipping it's tipping the clown.
Well,
he's like, all right, I kind of enjoyed watching this.
Don't buy Maseratis. They don't work.
So the man came to your shop with a Maserati
and left on a tow truck.
Maybe if he'd been able to sell some cars, he'd actually been able to get a car that works.
And
probably gotten a break.
Drove home just fine.
Red to the positive, black to the negative.
I'm well aware how that works.
Even
you never know. Hey, the AAA guys couldn't get it started either. That would have been.
Wait. This gives, and I don't want the answer, Eric, but
I'm sure you don't.
This gives us a little bit. We can make this story really, really good because I don't know that Eric actually could find the battery in a Maserati.
Well, first of all, it's in the back.
He said he tried to jumpstart it,
and they make so the battery is in the back.
Eric doesn't even know how to do a one touch correctly.
He just said the battery. Yeah. See where this is going. What? That's all we needed to know.
Yeah, we're going to find out as he tried to attach his jump cables to like the fender, and it's like, this isn't working. And then he tried to connect it to the dash light. This isn't working. Tries to put it on the steering wheel. Still not working.
You were in the trunk, right?
The stems on the tires are you supposed to hook them up to, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, just for you misfits to know, I do know that because the battery is in the back, but Maserati made connections in the front to hook the battery cable, the jump cables up to. So
wait, hold on, pause. Posts. Are you giving us your Maserati expertise, you bougie bastard?
No,
is that what you're doing right now?
No, the Maserati owner explained all this to me, so I learned.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure. Oh, how convenient. So, Louis, just out of curiosity, would this segment constitute attacking Eric? I'm just curious. I want a definition.
No, it's just questioning his capabilities, I think.
I think it's fair.
AAA guys couldn't get it started. It was off on a flatbed. See you later. Bye, Maserati man.
Wow.
Okay.
On that bombshell, I'm going to move on to the silly card of the week because that was already off to a silly tone. But let's start with that. Before we do, we're going to do last week's results on the silly card of the week. I'm not too surprised at the results, I got to be honest, but at the same time, it's going to happen. So here it is. The winner with 54% of the popular vote was the Brett Favre card. So fair enough. Look.
And Rich drove a Maserati that didn't work.
Yeah. Democracy is democracy, man. We count every single vote. It is the only true democracy in this world, so we will count it. So that is last week's result. Now we're going to get into the candidates this week. I will have a post on the channel. First option, Mr. Maserati man. What are we doing here?
So I can only assume that, shortly after Jose took that ball off the head while being an outfielder for the Rangers, and it ended up being a home run. He was very confused when he got back to the dugout due to concussions, and grabbed his poop shovel and tried to go up and hit with it. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Wow. That is a theory. I think he was trying to help somebody out because I know some people who have damaged Bobby Orr sticks in a similar manner. He's actually just using a shovel. He's trying to be helpful. He's trying to help people dig out. Get me, Bob Jackson.
I'm going with concussions and him not knowing that he's supposed to have a baseball bat to hit with.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. There is a theory. All right. So that is the first option that we'll leave here. Here's your second option. Don't laugh at your own thing. Explain it.
This is just a regular base upper deck card with a good old Cecil Fielder, doing his thing, relaxing out on the field in a lawn chair with his squirt bottle. And he had to be interrupted from his relaxation by none other than the San Diego Chicken who is conveniently pointing at Eric, saying, "Look at that fool." But yeah, I actually seen that a lot of people seem to get this dual autographed, which kind of cool. So
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, why not? Look, what's funny, Brandon, is that I had a similar thought to you. I think after listening to Eric's story, Maserati Boy, after the sabotage, I think there's a lot of people and players who are starting to be kind of recoil. So the San Diego Chicken's trying to warn Cecil Fielder in this image. I think Andre Dawson's taking matters into his own hand and is trying to defend himself. Because there's Andre, kind of leaning on the side. He's almost leaning off the card at this point, looking defensively over, but at the same time holding the bat nearby just to protect himself.
Oh, he got some side eye.
Yeah, he's looking over there going like,
WTF look on his face.
That's right. He's just looking over there going like, what are we doing? And he's holding the bat close. You notice he's ready to use it if he needs to. He will use that bat.
Side eye. He don't like what's happening.
He's sitting with Dr. Dre and Chris Tucker on the porch there, and Debo's coming by, and they just took off.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
That's right, Louis. You get it. You understand.
Mm-hmm.
So these will be the selections this week. It will be available to you. Should you so choose, you can select your favorites and let us know what the silly card of the week is this week. All votes are counted. The only true democracy in this world.
And Big Cecil ate that chicken.
As he should. He probably shared with Wade Boggs.
Good boy.
He probably shared with Wade Boggs.
Think about how many chickens it would take for Big Cecil to be full. And he saw that giant chicken. Oh, Big Cecil ate that chicken.
I just love that he had a folding lawn chair out on the field just chilling.
As you do. Come on. I was not aware Maserati made bicycles. This is a fact. There are holes in Eric's story. Sounds like a Joe Walsh song. My Maserati does 185.
Mm-hmm.
John Walsh. Lost his license thanks to his Maserati. Why does Jose have a grain shovel? Rob says, good evening, Louis. Having crossed over to the dark side. Watch these guys. They like to have fun. He's been here before.
Mm-hmm. Good time.
And dumb enough he came back.
Yeah.
Scandals.
Stupid.
Look at people who voted. Wow. It happens. What are you going to do? So you'll have your selection. You can check out the post and make your selection this week. And then some of those other ones, I'll include some links in the description once we get everything going. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, that's taken care of. We do have the segment for pickups. Eric, usually you got some garbage in the cave of crap. Is there anything you would like to share with the people?
Yeah, this my brand new car.
Yeah, so what you stole from Maserati guy. Yeah, right on.
And I know I have a complete set of 84, 85 OPG, but I realized a couple of weeks ago I didn't have a Chris Chelios rookie outside of that complete set.
And you figured out that Sports World had one, and suddenly now you have one without paying?
It's not important to discuss how this Chris Chelios rookie came into my hands. It's just that it's here now, and that's all that matters.
Interesting.
Now flip it over because it's killing me. No, it's upside down.
You want that?
Show the holder the right way, will you? Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, much better.
Better.
That's an improvement.
Better. Okay.
Tom Jackson, why is the holder upside down?
Not because I think it's stupid that the magnets are on top, because this way I can hold the card and actually show you the card, where if it was the other way around, I'd be holding it, like this, going, here, look at that.
I think you hook the jumper cables up to your nipples. That's the problem.
That would explain a lot.
I didn't do that. out in a parking lot. And
this time.
In front of people. I saved that till I come home in my garage.
Yeah.
Is that going to be what we're going to do for this year's Ray Bork Charity Foundation, Eric? Because I'm willing to. I'll give you $500 for that one.
To raise money for Ray Bork's charity this upcoming New Year's. I will be doing that in the garage. Yes,
that's the least they could do.
I have one more to go. I have one more to go for the full set. I got to get the Bobby Clark. So I now I'm one away from getting the full comic book set, and these are in good condition. I didn't want crappy ones, so that's why, because you can easily get these. But to get them in really, really nice shape, you got to be a little patient. So anyway, one more to go to complete that set. When I see one, I'm not going to go on eBay and buy them. When I see one at a show someplace, I'll grab it.
I see. That is the thing. Well, I got Brandon. Just out of curiosity, do you have a couple to this time around?
I do have a couple things. This one just arrived today. I don't normally go with the like the retail and all the other parallel like versions they do, but it's the sand glitter black Robles out of 10. I actually like the Tops has been giving him some good images. Nice dirty uniform there. So I like that image of him. And then this here's a secret, people. I like buying sets.
Okay.
People don't believe that anybody collects sets. No, I found these, and those that know, I like collecting Walking Dead, and these are actually it's a full set that like all of the artwork is from the comic book covers.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty cool. But,
All right.
yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Robles, why? Well, here, hockey, I will show you.
Robles is hockey is regularly confused.
That would be why. I have followed him since he started in the minor leagues, and when you can have a card graded with the player, I think that's pretty damn cool. With my kids, that's pretty cool.
I agree.
There you go. I like it. Good evening, Paul. Cool, says Steven. Nice. Thank you. All right. So real quick, we'll do a pair. One of them came from the Fanatics Overlords, one in the auction last night, and the other one I wanted on the eBays. So these are forthcoming here to go along with some other stuff. Stick with the theme this time around. 53 Tops, Phil Rizzuto. Kind of indirectly, kind of chipping away at a set slowly in the background. 53 Bowman Colors, the main one that I'm working on, but I like the Rizzuto, and I thought the price on it was fair, so I was like, all right, I'll take that. And we grabbed a Vladdy card. I didn't have any Topps Dynasty, so I figured I would grab a Topps Dynasty and join the club on the Discord. So why not? I like the price on this one, so I was like, all right, I'll take one of those as well. Figured I'd grab a handful of the Vladdys. So
those
like
Dynasties as ridiculously priced as any Dynasty F1 card I want.
They are pretty high. Yeah. Some of them are kind of expensive. It depends on the player. Like the Guerrero isn't too bad compared to some of the other ones, but some of the other dynasties, like I wanted to get I was looking at some of the Sotos. Some of them aren't too bad, but some of them are very expensive still.
F1 puts Dynasty to another level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't have as many years. It's only because they've managed to spread it out a little bit. If they didn't have as many years of Topps Dynasty as they do right now, it would be even way higher. You'd add a zero to a bunch of these.
That, and you have the crowd that, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren.
Oh yeah.
The high end stuff, the expensive, the Maseratis of the world, that kind of stuff. So those folks will pay up. They also have really cool patches though in the F1 sets.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
I feel like
very cool Bobbles.
A card.
Go for it.
Okay.
Join us, Louis, by all means.
I did get one. It's not even
Thank you, Steven. So the beauty of it, Louis, is that we don't limit ourselves. It's like it can be whatever category you want. Like
I don't want
something else. Go for it.
We've even showed prosthetic stuff.
we have seen that. That's been a thing.
Shit.
Let it not be said, Brandon, that we do not have range. Next week, Eric will be like, "Hey guys, check this out. This is a part from a Maserati. Where did you get that?" I found it.
If he wants it back, he has to give me some more cards.
I found it. He's gonna have to bribe me with some more cards. That's right. Yeah, I figured I'd have some fun with that. I don't want to get too many Vladdies, Brandon, but I figured I'll grab a handful. I just wanted to have one Dynasty one to go with a couple of other ones. It's like I showed that last one a couple of weeks ago, and I figured the Dynasty would go well with it.
You guys signed him long term, right?
Yeah, he's long term.
Yeah.
He's pretty So it's like, so I was like, you know what? He's kind of the homegrown guy. So I was like, all right, cool, that's fine. All right, Lou, what you got? Go for it.
Picked up a 2024 Panini Crusade pocket.
Oh, the Kirby.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
I hadn't seen that one before, and it was shiny, and I figured need it.
Yeah.
That looks like an atomic refractor.
It is. They went with the style of the cracked ice kind of shine on that one.
Yeah, the Crusades were really nice back in the day.
Yeah. So basically, based on the year you're talking about, it means they brought back, because I know they did do it again later on. And it's a good thing because honestly, the original Crusades were beautiful cards. Like I've got a couple of Delgados for that, like from the 98, I want to say was the original. But then like the design is still good. Like the shine on them is crazy. Like they did a really good job on them, and then they redid it later. It's like, no, go for it. Do it with the cracked Dysons. Like we don't have good ideas for a lot of designs anymore. So if you got something that works and it looks nice, it gives people a chance to get it, especially like the Kirby Puckett. Makes total sense to me.
Yeah. Never seen it before. I didn't even know they did Crusades. So
yeah, they came back and borrowed because once they owned a bunch of the brands, the IPs, it's kind of what Upper Deck does now. Because so folks that are less familiar, Lewi is from the Hockey Card Gongshow. We talk about it. Friday nights, they've got their thing. Now I know a bunch of you already know that because we'll watch. You guys will flip back and forth. The Canadian adjacent Loud Phil will have his show on Fridays. I say Canadian adjacent. I feel like Eric is closer to Canadian than Phil most of the time. So
Sorry.
that's right.
Sorry.
That's right. See, told you.
Sorry.
The credit's done. The credit's done. We already figured it out. No wonder his car was towed. Missing parts needed to start. This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
Sorry about that too.
You should be.
Poser.
Eric is just trying to get in good Louis so he doesn't get booted out. If he says the wrong thing, like that's it. We're going to cut him off. Look, all I got to say is, Eric, you should be in on this. What I'm getting at here, what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to drive a wedge between you and Phil because Phil is trying to shoehorn in on your Marcel. Because I've been noticing a heavy emphasis from Phil on the Marcel Dionne card purchasing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well,
that is a fact. Louis, I'm not making this shit up. Unlike some people in their stupid Lamborghini story, I'm speaking the truth.
All right, let me explain something. I think it's cute that Phil collects Marcel cards. I think that's really cute. Do you know what I collect? Marcel's. So,
but there's multiple. Would you clone them?
If necessary.
Marcel likes my beard, Eric. So
that is
true. Being jealous.
Just
being jealous.
You're still riding high over that one. I know. If you come up next year, I'm not going to let you near him.
Eric, when's the last time that Marcel complimented your beard?
He has never complimented anything about me.
That's what I thought. He's just like, get away from me. Last time I saw you, my Lamborghini didn't work anymore.
There's a lot of, why are you calling me? Why are you texting me? Why are you bothering me? There's a lot of.
Yes, correct. These are facts. So
I also collect those.
Eric, usually when I need to rabble rousel, I need to make up something. In this case, I don't. Like I've got the footage. I can pull it up. I can show him at the Super Show buying Marcel Dionne card, which is a fact. That is 100% facts.
That's cute. I think that's cute. Like I said, you can collect Marcel cards. I'll collect Marcel. No problem.
Well, you have an original. You have one of the very few Marcel Dionne advertising posters for mayonnaise.
I do have.
That's a true collectible, one of very unique.
He's coming down here like next weekend, so I'll probably see him next weekend actually.
And I think you should get him to sign it.
No, I'm not. I told you I'm not doing that.
What if he just looks at it, laughs, and goes, "Here you go."
Yeah,
I love mayonnaise.
No, I'm not doing it.
You just don't want to get mad. You just don't want to be mad at Marcel if he loves it. And he's like, you know what? I love mayonnaise. I'll totally sign this.
So I collect them too. And I even, I have to put them in the correct holder.
Yes.
You
got Reggie's. Yep. There's Marcel.
Yep. And they're all in the proper holder, the holder the proper way. So it's an homage to Eric.
Those ones need to be in the holder that way. I agree. I appreciate it.
I think the Reggie's. What did I tell you? I got those for like a quarter already signed.
Okay. You don't need to tell the whole world that.
The melted value of the holder's worth more.
They were in like one of the bargain box things already signed, and I was like, oh, okay.
All right. You can stop. That's fine.
Nothing wrong with having a guy that's super, super affordable that you collect.
Oh, that's most of my collection.
2 supers, Louis. You had to add in 2 supers, huh? Okay, thanks, bud.
I got your back, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I feel safe.
Look, Eric, it's important that it's all fun and games, lest we be accused of attacking people. That would be wrong.
Oh.
That'd be terrible. Just imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But anyways, yes, I may be seeing Marcel this weekend, which would be nice. But I'm not saying definite because the guy's a madman. All right, he has done this. He has done this exact thing in the past. He has worked the Expo, signed at the Expo, jumped in his car, driven 8+ hours to a card show in Massachusetts, finished the card show and the signing, got back in his car, drove 8 hours back up to Mississauga, and going back to the card show.
You know what this tells me, Eric?
The freaking crazy madman.
This tells me he needs the money to keep the lawyer, your favorite lawyer, on a retainer at all expenses, the maximum level for when you bother him too much.
You might be onto something.
I also think he has a huge repair bill. And once they figure out at the shop, at the dealership, is like, why is my Maserati damaged? And it all comes full circle because that's how Eric found out how to properly sabotage one. He had experience. He was practicing. Very interesting.
Sabotage a Maserati.
Remember, Louis, Eric has had a lot of concussions. At this point, opening a jar might be complex for him. He needs practice for anything. Did I mention the participation trophy?
How quickly I forget.
Yes. So, just saying. Bob just said, Eric, who needs enemies when you have friends like this? I know.
I never ever called any of these idiots friends. Thank you.
Not even adjacent?
Not even adjacent.
Not even adjacent to adjacent? Not even adjacent squared?
Adjacent cubed. Adjacent cubed. I'll go as far as adjacent cubed, but that as far as I will go.
I just want to say I appreciate Lewi recognizing that we all wear glasses. And so he made sure to fit in with his glasses as well. So he got the memo.
Nah, that's just his way of rubbing it in that he doesn't need glasses and we're blind. That's just like nah. I don't need glasses.
Wait, hold on, Eric. Hold on, Eric. To be fair. A little flat, but all right, fine. Anyway, the point is, I don't know if you realize this. If you watch a lot of it, like again, feel free to go watch Gongshow. Most of the time, it's like honestly, if I was on that show, I'd be like, I need the glasses, but I'd be like this the whole time. Carlos, why? Because it's all blurry, then I don't have to look at it. There's like, look, I can still control the mouse without a look. See, hold on, I'm controlling the mouse here. Ooh, ah. I don't need to see y'all for that. In fact, it helps probably. It's problematic when you got to read the chat, but otherwise you're good to go. It is what it is. It's a tough scene.
Maybe if they had a better producer for the show, maybe
should get one.
Maybe the show would be better.
Which show? Theirs or ours?
Ours. Listen, theirs could be better. Ours doesn't have a shot in hell.
Ours could be better. Yes. Baby step.
You just need to get rid of the faux guy. Like, I'll lend you Eric if you want a real Canadian. We'll get you a real Canadian, then we'll increase your Canadian viewership. I think that'd be huge.
No, you want your show to be successful. You don't want me anywhere near it.
Why do you sell yourself?
Why do I need tickets? I'm an honorary invitee. I don't need tickets. How do I need tickets for?
He goes, I founded this place. Get off my land.
50 years ain't crap.
Get off my land. Brandon will be over there to go, literally get off my lawn. No, literally, this is my lawn. Get off.
Well, remember what happened when someone parked on my lawn?
You know what?
With water hose.
He water hosed them. The problem is Eric didn't consider at the time, like, what if they had been, again, being a Canadian, Eric didn't think about this. But if Eric had been a proper American, what if they had just gone in and opened fire? The proper response. Eric would be like, shit, I have a hose. This is going to cut it.
I would have sprayed.
It was probably a Maserati that parked on his lawn.
That's right.
No, I believe it was, if I remember right, it was a BMW SUV who parked on my lawn.
Yeah, same thing.
So you didn't understand how to properly sabotage it? If you had a little more time?
Nope, I just stood there while they tried to get in it, spraying their car with my hose.
Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood reference. Well done.
The true goat. Not no tickle trunk dude up there in Canada. The real goat, Mr. Rogers.
Mhm.
Fred.
I don't know, man.
Hey, Fred's got a hockey card. Tickle trunk.
I thought it was taller than Washington.
Tickle trunk don't have no hockey card.
How do you know Tickle Trunk doesn't have a hockey card?
He doesn't have a hockey card. Where's Fred? I gotta remember.
You're gonna find out. I'm gonna have a conversation with Mr. Cilio. We're gonna get this taken care of.
I don't
Oh, by
know.
the way, congrats on being Upper Deck adjacent with the Gong Show. I thought that was funny. They're putting it in the corner. I'll settle for just having Billy and then making fun of him. This is all I want. It's like, just get on here. That's all we're gonna do.
I lie. George Washington is known for being one of the tallest U.S. presidents. So no, I wouldn't have been taller than him. He would have had me by a couple inches.
Mr. Rogers.
The goat.
That's raw.
No
Eric.
tickle trunk needed.
What a coincidence that for Mr. Rogers, he knows how to use the top loader correctly.
Why does it say Penguins?
Because it's from a hockey set.
It was from Pro Set, and that was the team he supports. He's the celebrity captain of the Penguins in that set.
Thank
Ralph,
you.
I try to remember who this Ralph Macchio was in it, right?
Yeah, Ralph Macchio's in it. I think it was the Islanders, wasn't it?
Macchio was the celebrity captain of the Islanders.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The early 90s were a special time.
Timberlake is in one, or not. Justin Bieber is in one of them.
Well,
No,
later.
I don't know if it's that
Later ones.
set.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bieber, I don't think was born when that set happened.
But he's in something like that because like there's a card with him holding the Stanley Cup and like
Well, they did a fan of the game thing later. So I'll bring this around to the Medano thing because I've been asked this before because Panini, when they were doing their stuff, there was like a fan of the game set or whatever. So there's one where it was Medano and the pop singer that he was married to at the time, Willa Ford. So it was him and Willa Ford. And there's two versions of the card. There's one version of it where she signed it. And then I think there's another version of it where Medano signed it. So I've been asked, it's like, well, you're going to collect that one? It's like, not really. The Willa Ford autograph is not of interest to me. Medano is on the card. They're both on the card. But it's like not really interesting to me. But that's like a fan of the game kind of deal, one of those things. So I have no doubt they did them for different celebrities, throwing them in. And yeah, well, they do it in baseball all the time. So it's like, why not? Makes sense to me. Ooh, Eric, this is your moment.
Ooh.
I know the name, but I'm not too familiar with him.
Eddie Giacomin was the longtime Hall of Fame goalie for the New York Rangers. He also, at the end of his career, played for the Detroit Red Wings. He died last year, the same week as Ken Dryden and Glenn Hall, I think, all died the same week.
That's right. There was
Holy
a group of them. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So, and all three are Hall of Famers.
Now, on a completely unrelated question, where were you at the time of Eddie's death? For legal reasons, I'm just curious.
Carlos, I'm not here to talk about the past. I'd like to
Mhm.
focus on the future and how we can make the world a better place.
Oh, I'm sure you are. Interesting. So hopefully that helps, Mike. Otherwise, we'd be hitting up the Wikipedia machine. So I figured I would let Eric have a crack at it. Anything you want to add, Louis, to that?
Oh, I'm trying to think. We died in September last year, right?
Somewhere thereabouts. I know that there were a couple of folks at the same time, and I remember that we did briefly touch on it.
Yes.
Again, predates my time. I know of these players. I've collected some of the cards for the era, but I don't know them too deeply, so I don't try to say more than what I know.
No, I got nothing else to add to it.
All right, fair enough. Stu says I got a Burton Cummings card from Pro Set 92. Yeah, early 90s Pro Set has some. The shame, Eric, is that they were in the middle of the John Quacks era. I actually like some of the Pro Set stuff. The
Sure.
first Pro Set set was the color coding was interesting, but obviously the quality control was garbage. Like it was
Oh.
actual trash.
So bad.
Because you want to laugh about the people, grading and all that, and trimmed and not trimmed. You can open up packs of 9091 Pro Set, and there are cards that are like miscut, literally short and long inside the same pack. Like they're not even close.
No, it was total trash.
Go
You
ahead.
actually have that?
Yes, I do. That's how I knew that Bieber had a card.
So Brandon, that's the same set that I was talking about with the Will of Ford thing. So as a fans of the game,
I also have that one too.
Talking. Redeemed.
But coincidentally, did anybody know that this was for the Maple Leafs, and maybe that's why they've not had much success?
First.
What are you doing with that card?
Yeah, throw it away, would you please?
I have a daughter.
I have one too. Throw it away.
Brandon is just trying to ingratiate himself again, just by holding that card, Louis. He's also closer to Canadian than Phil. Like the connections are just all over the place.
Does this make me a hockey collector that I have the random hockey stuff too?
The Beebs. Well, the Stanley Cup is on the card.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Bieber.
Wrong.
Very wrong.
See, that's the kind of range we're bringing here. I bet you haven't had a single Bieber hockey card on Gong Show at any point, Louis.
And we won't.
What a boy.
Yet.
No.
Yet.
No.
All right, you let me know what you say when Phil goes, "Hey guys, got a card of Beebs."
Well, as the producer, I would hope he has a
Louis will be like, "We accidentally lost Phil."
dump. He has a dump button as producer. Hopefully,
It's a good thing none of us. Well, he'll probably pull it off on some live, but if he doesn't,
No, probably. Yeah,
we're good. I got it covered.
I was gonna say the lives is probably the lives again. Your several sponsorships and partners. It's always in danger when you go to the live and Phil is left in charge of the live. That's where it becomes problematic.
I know. Now I'm getting distracted. What's going on?
This is Kiss. Eric
Why?
is a big fan.
I'm part of the Kiss Army.
Okay, you're missing a lot.
I was thinking the same. Where'd your other cards go?
Well, yeah, no, I'm missing some, but
Eric, you got to do better. You're also going to get demoted in the Kiss Army.
I also have a lot more in a different binder that I think.
Oh, and have a daughter
because we collected them together,
Mhm.
and I think that she may have the other binder.
Oh, I'm sure. She totally stole them from you, Eric.
So
Just awful.
I'm pretty sure she has the other binder somewhere. But yeah, this is one I'm.
Just out of curiosity, are we completely definitive? So is it the Kiss Army and not like the Kiss Navy? Do they have like a boat, like a rowboat?
So a couple of years ago, because you asked, a couple of years ago, they started doing these things called the Kiss cruises, where you could get on a giant,
So Eric, hold on. Eric, don't lie to us. The Lamborghini story already. After that, your credibility is shot.
It's not.
Gene Simmons made a crap ton of money, and they gave you a dilapidated rowboat. Tell us the truth.
So they would turn a cruise ship into a Kiss cruise.
Cruise ship.
It would be filled with Kiss fans and Kiss members.
So you and who else?
Present. And they would do a concert on the ship, the whole thing. And those people were then started to be called the Kiss Navy because they were out on the cruise ship on the open sea.
And
So
you were
yes,
put in charge of the poop deck, is what you're saying.
there is a Kiss Navy. If you went on a Kiss cruise with Kiss, you then became part of the Kiss Navy.
And who was made the rear admiral?
You can keep making those jokes, but I'm just going to keep going. So, since I have stayed on land, I am in the Kiss Army.
I see. Interesting. So if there's ever a war, you'll be there with a bicycle and what, like a rock?
If they want to do a Kiss bike ride, then I'm in, but I haven't done it yet.
I'm just curious who, Gene Simmons thinks they need an army for. Like, who are you fighting against? Is that like a Beatles army that you're going to fight, or?
I believe he is fighting every other band for money, and we want the fans' money first. I believe because they just last week they came out hawking patches, like Kiss patches that you put on like a jean jacket in the 80s. Him and Paul did a video hawking new patches. I'm just like, guys, let it go.
It's actually smart. All the retro stuff's coming
By,
back.
by let it go, you mean sell them to me.
No, I'm not buying Kiss patches. I'm good.
Are you
And
sure
if
you're
I
not buying
did
Chris
buy a
patches?
if I did buy a Kiss patch, which I probably have somewhere already and just forgot, I would buy retro. I'm not buying something new.
So is this one of those situations where you're going to say these words and then I'm going to clip this and then I'm going to do the SpongeBob a few moments later and then you're going to say, Carlos, I drank the third Guinness and I woke up like this, and it's going to be the sweatshirt that you're wearing right now, but it's all going to be Kiss patches.
I'm not going to say never.
I'm just asking a question.
We're going out for Guinness, boys.
I
So
had my first beer of the year the other night.
I'm so proud of you.
Now, did this one have the alcohol?
Was it a good one or did you have a Guinness?
No, this one had the alcohol. The first one I had of the year did not have alcohol. When I went out with my wife, I had one of the non-alcoholic ones. But yes, I was at an event in Portland, Maine, doing a black tie event charity function for work. And before the crowd came in, we got a free meal. And I had a hamburger.
Was this, wait, is it actually free or is it like free in your version?
No,
Free?
the hamburger was free, and
most people are expected to pay, but you're like, I'm not doing that.
And I could have had a free Coke, which you guys know I don't like Coke. I'm a Pepsi boy, and I really like Guinness, so I had a pint of Guinness, and it was the first alcoholic drink of 2026.
Wow.
Saturday night.
You know what? Hang on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let it not be said that I do not have production values. Eric was working a black tie event. Yes, working.
Yes. They were raising money for first responders in
Hope
Portland.
from first responders? You're going to hell.
So we were there auctioning off sports memorabilia, autograph framed pictures of, different sports and athletes for charity.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get home till midnight.
Well, you had to keep loading the car with stolen goods. That takes time.
It's not easy, but someone has to do it.
Interesting. Well, Louis, thankfully, on your production, you don't have to worry about people consistently confessing to crimes, at least that we know of. Usually, or you cut it out one way or the other.
You'll never know.
He is the producer.
Well, that's fair. Listen, I'm not arguing with you. It is what it is. It works out. Sounds like a trap. That's right, Mike. Yet again. So, what time do you fall asleep at the bar? Valid question, Mike.
All right, to be honest.
To be honest, now. Go on.
Oh, we're turning a new leaf.
Wait,
here.
hold on. Oh, Eric, hold on. Eric's being honest. I'm gonna go grab a beer for this. Hang on. Go ahead, Eric. Be honest.
I felt it. I felt it. I was like, this is ridiculous that I feel this was one Guinness. Guinness has a low alcohol content. I drank it slowly. I was eating a big fat hamburger at the time, and I still felt it. And if I said to myself, if I actually had 3 at this moment, I'd be on not only falling asleep on the bar, which I'm notorious for, like this.
Okay.
I'd be on the floor, just curled up in a ball, passed out.
Oh.
Did you forget that you told us you felt the one with 0 alcohol?
I did not say that. I may have said that. I don't.
Oh, you definitely said it.
So Louis, this IPA is
It was a placebo.
7.1%. Yeah, so this IPA is 7.1%. This is one of the ones that I keep around here. Now, when I open this,
How can you drink that pine needle stuff?
what's that?
Pine needles. Ugh.
What pine needles?
That beer.
Which beer is it?
The one, I don't care what it is. It's an IPA. Woo.
Anyway, so regardless, so basically, if you just, I already have a higher alcohol content just smelling that than Eric's Guinness.
Yeah.
I don't have to drink it. Just Yeah,
Just-
already Eric would be on the floor.
Just put it aside, let it breathe in the room, and by the end of this show, you're gonna be wasted.
I drink 2 of these on Fridays. Anyway,
I'm sorry that I don't drink a lot. I will try to do better. I apologize.
you should.
I'm ashamed.
It's the least you can do. Being Kisses in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Does Eric get adjacency? He's trying. Why do you think he joined the army?
Gene does not give adjacency.
Well, he might charge you for it.
Yes.
I'm sure he'd send you a bill.
Yeah. Now he wants all the credit. He is not giving out adjacency.
Yeah. So Michelle likes me. I'm to 6.9% at the moment. Coconut porter.
Yeah. Listen, Ham, I got to go pick her up at the airport in a little while. I better not hear anything I don't like.
Well, I'll be gone, so you'll be fine.
I don't want to hear no stories about how wonderful her trip to Hamland was. I'm not interested.
Hamland?
Is that what you're calling it now? Hamland?
Yeah, Florida. Hamland.
All right.
By the way, obviously we shared it on the Discord and everything. We were talking about it earlier. So Ham, I got to tell you, the Florida Man moniker, there are levels to this. And I'm enjoying the levels that there are to this. This is still my favorite thing. Florida Man charged with stealing trading cards with taco seasoning packets.
When I saw the headline, I prayed I'd see Ham's face.
Look, I'm not convinced it was a ham, but I appreciate it's like taco seasoning packets.
Oh,
I like it. I like it a lot.
Over 10K, it said.
Yep.
He did it a while, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, not in one shot.
Could you imagine the determination it would take? It's like, all right, we're doing this in one shot.
I don't know.
There were 99 cents.
You take
So he's
taco
going
packets
through-
every time?
Yeah, so he's going through self-checkout and like putting it over, I'm assuming like he's putting it right where the barcode is for the cards, and putting this, whatever $60 box through the scanner at self-checkout, and it's 99 cents, and he just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it.
So I'm actually really curious if how many he was getting at a time, because
They're limited at Target and stuff.
like Bob was saying, about the blaster cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he was how many times was he scanning this damn taco seasoning packet?
Oh, so the point is it happened over months. But look, I have a separate question. My question is this as follows. You would think at a certain point, somebody looking over is like, who is consistently and constantly buying taco seasoning packets? Like they're here like 3 times a week buying taco seasoning packets and like nothing else. Just taco
You want to
seasoning
know
packets.
my thought on this? And so I get in this rabbit hole. My wife watches, my daughter enjoys watching it, but the body cam channels on YouTube and stuff, this stuff happens more than people realize with the self-checkout thing.
Yes, totally.
I'm seriously wondering if they weren't onto him, and what they'll do is they'll start tracking the people amongst the stores. But I really think because the law now is so lenient on theft that they might be allowing it to bulk up to a high amount. That way they can press these felony charges to where, people might have to serve this, lengthy sentences or whatever. Because if you got him on the first time, it might not have even been enough for a felony.
Right.
So
Brandon, I think that's a very generous reading of it. I like to think, again, being in Florida, I think he would have gotten away with it if he had changed up to a different seasoning packet. If he had changed any other.
Like the ranch dressing packet.
Nailed it.
Powdered ranch dressing.
Just anything.
That one's $1.05. He was sticking with the 99-cent cheapie.
Eric, it was his insistence on sticking to the taco seasoning packets that was his undoing. Because after a while, they're like, you know what? I don't believe that anyone needs these many taco seasoning packets. I will get to the bottom of this. And that is how he was caught.
He just wanted to find something cheap that he could put it over the barcode and scan it.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what's cheaper, paying a couple of cashiers or letting people just steal everything in the self-checkout. There's almost always a more efficient way to do this.
Yeah.
Like stealing over months and using taco seasoning packets. Brandon, I'm curious. Do you think he used the same taco seasoning packets or got different taco seasoning packets every time?
I'm hoping he did the same and that the company itself was like, guys, our stock is rising.
they keep reordering tacos,
like throwing parties.
And they keep reordering taco seasoning packets, but they're not actually gone. It's just the same ones being rescanned over.
Target's got boxes of them in the back room, and Old El Paso's like throwing employee parties and stuff.
Man,
it was all for sports cards.
We are a hit in this area of Florida. They really like tacos.
Huge. I love it.
I'm going to go to Target.
What was that?
All of a sudden, got to go to Target.
You need some taco packets?
Mhm.
Taco Fractor was invented by this guy, baby. Ready to sell my McCormick seasoning stock. I know. That's what I'm saying. That's right, Paul. You got it. I like it. Look, honestly, if I wanted to extend it, and I could 100% do it, I could very much have. You could have the whatnot scam of the week. That's an easy segment. But then the other one is like Florida Man. The segment is just called Florida Man, Eric.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah.
And then we just explain. So this week's Florida Man, and this is what happened.
That should be a regular Friday segment because
just
time to
Florida
kill.
Man.
It's complete nonsense. So I think that's a new. I think we're gonna have to discuss how we're gonna do that one.
We need to talk to the guys the guy that does gem rate and see if we can get him to maybe him and Paul Lesko could get together and give us trackers each month of the record of theft from retail wax. That would be an interesting chart. Let's go on the legal side to get the details. Gem rate could put the charts together.
I get escorted. Really?
Maybe if you had brought the taco packets, you would have been above suspicion. Just saying.
Oh, I did notice that when I'm in Canada, all the sports cards, if you find them, are locked up.
Yeah.
In the toy section.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ours aren't. Ours are like right
on the shelf up front.
Yeah. They kind of got tired of like guys that would come in and just be like,
sure.
So basically they're like, all right, look, if you literally want to go bother somebody to go, and then the person's going to sit there and judge you the entire time. They just literally stare at you. They're like, really? You're 45, sir. Are they for my kids? Sure they are. Mm-hmm. Yep. I bet they are.
Interesting.
My favorite Florida Man video I saw was a guy running from the cops, jump over a fence, and the cop goes to jump over and stops and goes, holy bleep, it's an alligator. And the guy's gone into the water. It's right by
I literally just watched one before coming up here to click the link where the guy, he stole a scooter with a knife, held somebody at knife point, stole the scooter, and when the cops approached him, he jumped over the railing of the bridge into the water.
It's a plan of sorts.
And it was, of course, Florida.
Of course it was. But Brandon, you know what would have been great? What would have been great is if it was because now they're doing it with some hobby things for the fanatics where they're breaking open the plastic. Basically, they're doing that. Imagine, Louis, if the retail guys decided to do that. So this is a Florida scenario. So they decided to do that, say, okay, you can have this, but we're taking off the plastic and then you can leave with it. But they decided to do exactly what you just said, but they steal a bunch of it. All the plastic got taken off and but then he jumps into the water and it's all cardboard. Florida man. Didn't think that one through, did you?
Interesting.
If it was Mayo, no one would notice. It's true. You are correct. My Target won't let you get 3 blasters of the same product during the pandemic. It was 1 blaster. Limits. I live in a daily sitcom.
Season.
Facts. Facts. Hold on. In sequence, Eric. Read this.
If it was Mayo, no one would have noticed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ham is correct here. Ham lives in a daily sitcom. Florida man. That should be a sitcom, actually. Somebody should just go for it. Florida Man could be a sitcom. I'd watch it.
I think it was called CSI Miami.
I thought it was called Jackass.
I think you're closer, actually. Yeah.
Based on a true story.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened? Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, so when are you going to start the old Expo ticker?
So I could. I think the Super Show kind of wrecked that whole thing because it's the end of April, I think, this year.
Yeah, it's April, May.
Yeah, so we're talking. So we're under 2 months now, I think, officially.
You going north for it?
They do, yeah, both the expos.
Yeah, I'm just a November guy, traditionally.
Yeah, switch it up.
Yeah, Rick, it'll give Michelle a chance to go hang out with Florida Man some more.
Mm-hmm.
Win-win. April 30th to May 3rd. Got it in front of me. Yeah, I think maybe next week or two. If we want to be, I always enjoy doing the countdown to be obnoxious like the national guys. That's just like 6 months till the nationals. Like, really? We're gonna be like that, huh? I could 100% do it. Last time we did do a counter. Eric, when did I start the counter? I started like a month and a half out or something, didn't I? Something like that.
We had it out for a while. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, not quite as obnoxious as 6 months, but still there. Hot Wheel guys are so much worse than the card guys. Maybe. Win-win.
No.
I've never met a Hot Wheels guy, so I don't know.
The wife's away, so Eric's shoving as many cookies as he can down his throat. Well, he still can.
I'd like to point out that I had to purchase these cookies, and even though I have begged, pleaded, and tried to publicly harass and embarrass my mother, not made me cookies. I've had to purchase these cookies from the Keebler elves on my own. My mother still, this is 3 weeks since I called her out on not making me cookies. 3 weeks, still no cookies. So if you were paying attention and you were keeping track, the woman still has not made me cookies.
So back to the expo, though. Why don't you come in the spring? Just say it's a business trip. Get your butt out there.
Because my wallet hasn't recovered from November.
Again, you're at Sports World. You're surrounded by free money. All you have to do is just grab some more shit off the walls and go, "Hey, Phil, I'll be back with this later." Okay, what'd you take? I'll let you know. Where did all the Bobby Orr game used sticks go? Don't worry, Phil. Everything's fine.
I
Fine.
really wish you'd stop telling everybody my secrets.
Oh, don't worry. No one's listening.
That I believe.
Mm-hmm. Afterwards, they're like, "Sir, we saw in this live stream." Damn it.
Nobody.
Treasure hunts are all the rage with the 60 to 100 to X multiplier. That's right. That's right. So I don't know. Louis, out of curiosity for you. So for the next Expo, I will do a little countdown time, but we'll do it in a couple of weeks here. But I'm starting to put some money aside for the spring show. Anything I know you're still working on are you still working on different projects, or is it kind of narrowing it down? I was listening to some of the episodes, so I kind of skimmed through the different segments, but on the episodes, you still collecting the players, or are you starting to work on certain projects? We're doing F1. What's going on these days?
Just narrowing down my specific player collection, certain things I'm going after for them. And I'll probably keep dabbling in there's not a lot of F1 up there to see, but at least there's something to look at, so it's fun. I don't know, whatever tickles my fancy, but I'll probably steer just towards the Heisher and the Madonna route, but I'm changing Madonna, and right now I'm just going to keep pushing for North Stars stuff only.
Makes sense. I get it.
Otherwise, there's too much.
There is, yeah. That's the thing, is that if I hadn't started doing the collection as broadly as I did 30 years ago, I wouldn't necessarily do it that way now. With some of these other players, it's more narrow anyway. So I try to keep it inside. Like even for that Vladdy, I have a couple of Guerrero cards. I'm going to have a little collection of his stuff, but it's nicer stuff. So I want it to fit in a small box as opposed to having a big expansive collection. But even then, so when we get to the spring, it actually reminds me, I'll have to make a little note set aside. I got something for you. It's not North Stars, but I think you'll still appreciate it.
Okay.
So I'll set it aside for you.
We appreciate it.
Louis, do you just collect like Madonna era North Stars, or all the way back to 67?
I shouldn't say that. I will do North Star stuff, but usually if I'm going to just do North Stars, it's usually autos. I usually only try to collect wild cards in patches or patch autos. And then Madonna's just North Stars. Well, it's going to be. I have so much Madonna stuff. That's not North Stars. It's crazy. But yeah, otherwise I would just keep buying and buying and buying. So it's got to have, I'm trying to give it some sort of significance. Patch auto, North Stars. Makes sense.
You don't have a lot of vintage North Star stuff then.
Not a lot. Most of it's autos.
Okay. You got like Bill Goldsworthy and stuff, or
I do not have Goldsworthy, no.
no? Okay.
But a lot of, probably before, not soon, before they left is most of my current stuff,
Yeah, I was going to say age demographic wise, we're pretty close. So I think a lot of it would almost be like maybe late 80s.
Yeah. Bellows,
Yeah.
Broughton,
Yeah.
Perla, Cicerelli, Tenorti, Casey, stuff like,
Yeah.
Makes sense. Stuke has had the question here. Have they added a Pokemon card to the Expo like Strongsville? So obviously, jokes aside, no, for Expo they don't have to. They've got the CSC, what they call the CSC show section. They've got like a show within a show. They got like their own little subcategory, and it's almost, they've got dealers that do a lot of the CSC shows. A lot of them are heavier Pokemon. They do have some sports card dealers sprinkled in there, but it is going to be heavier Pokemon in that little quadrant. But they're actually very clearly labeled on the map, so there's no need for a curtain. But I know why Strongsville is doing it, trying to keep the vintage guys separated and trying to make them happy so they don't see the Pokemans. Otherwise, the Pokemans will attack them. But no, it's included into it, but it's still more sports cars than Pokemans.
I'm actually interested in hearing. I noticed that the Philly show, I seen an ad for it, and they advertised that they're going to do 3 trade nights. One is a kids trade night, one is a normal trade night, and then they actually have a Pokemon TCG trade night. And I thought that was kind of interesting since Philly's usually like been recognized as another strong like vintage show. Mm-hmm. Looks like it's swinging a bit towards the TCG and stuff as well. So
yeah, well, you can't ignore, the thing is, like, for all the complaints, you can't ignore that, and it's gonna come home to roost. People don't realize, like, the demographic has shifted. Like, that already happened. A lot of the 30-year-olds grew up on Pokemon already. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of them, as they're having kids, they're not necessarily watching sports. They might be, but they're not necessarily watching. So guess what? You grew up in the household and they're not watching sports at all. Why would you be collecting sports cards?
Right.
Not saying you can't. Like, I'm an anomaly. In my house, nobody likes sports. I was the only one who liked sports at all. So my dad was supportive. He was all right. He was, for his perspective, he goes, all right, that's fine. You want to, I'll take you to the card shop. So Carlos Sr. played along. He was okay with it. He didn't have a problem with it. But at the same time, he didn't really follow sports. My mom didn't follow sports. My younger brother doesn't follow any. I was the only one in the house that collected any sports cards because I was the only one exposed to any.
Serious question. They didn't even like soccer?
No. In my house, there was nothing.
Well, Carlos mentioned the 30-year-old crowd, and I mean, he's not 30 yet, but my son's 25. Yeah. And even with me following sports, collecting sports cards and everything, to your point, like, he would come with me to the card shop, but I still, like, I'll always remember he would come to the card shop and he would get up on the stool and he would ask the guy if he could look through the Yu-Gi-Oh box. Like, he would sit there and dig out Yu-Gi-Oh cards and make him a little pile of Yu-Gi-Oh. He never had any interest in sports cards. He tried for a very small minute when we were going, would go to the minor league baseball games and stuff. Mm-hmm. But even then, he just didn't connect with it. He's always been into the TCG stuff.
Yeah, and that's even assuming, and we're already starting off with a subsection. We're not even taking into account all the kids that are playing video games and stuff instead. Mm-hmm. They're not even collecting cards at all. So down the road, it won't be like, so obviously a lot of folks freak out about it every 5 minutes. It won't be today. It won't be 5 years from now. It won't be 10 years from now. It'll take some time. but the demographic will just continuously skew more and more. And that for the people that are going to collect cards, more of them are going to skew into that TCG Pokemon. There'll still be card collectors for the other stuff, but go look at attendance and some of these other things. Some of the attendance is starting to struggle. Prices are going up, attendance is going down. They're like, why would I? You're making it harder for me to find on television. So even if I was inclined to watch sports, you're making it more difficult for me. And I'm a guy who already is inclined to watch sports. If you make it enough of a pain in the ass, I'm not going to do it, let alone somebody who's not as attached to it. That's a problem, like a huge issue. So perfect example, Eric, you'll appreciate this because I know your love of it is beyond questions.
Oh, okay.
I joke about the World Baseball Classic and everything. It's the
Mm.
only kind of international one that I even semi-give a shit about. The good news for me is that the cable package that I have, they're going to air the games on that cable package with the channels that are included. But Eric, imagine if they said, hey, Carlos, you can watch it, but you got to pay extra. I'm going to be, fuck no. I'm not paying extra for that. No,
That's
thank you.
I end up having to pay extra for cycling. Yeah, I got to pay HBO extra. There's this other app I was paying called Flow Sports. I was paying them like $50 a month for some ridiculous thing so I could watch spring classics. The only reason I have Peacock is so I can watch the Tour de France in the summertime. I mean, if you're a sports addict and you're in love with the sport, especially not one of the four main sports that you could watch for free on network television, it's gonna cost you, and it sucks because it's keeping those niche sports are literally being held behind a paywall for newer fans, because a new fan or someone who hasn't discovered it yet isn't paying HBO extra money and Peacock and whatever, so they're not getting introduced to it. So it really sucks.
Yeah. So all it takes is about a generation, give or take, not seeing it at all. And then all of a sudden, where's your demographic who's going to collect this stuff? What incentive do they have? That's why I said, like, for me, it's fine because it's included within what I've already got. But I'm not going to pay extra for that because it's only one specific event. And, I'm going to watch the round robins and then the tournament finals and all that stuff. But if you try to put it behind a paywall, my answer is no. Regular season, I'm not really paying super close attention. Truth is, even in hockey, I haven't paid attention to regular season in a couple of years. I'll watch the odd game here and there, and I have easy access to it. But honestly, it's regular season. I really don't have any particular reason I need to be watching it. My TV is YouTube most of the time. I got plenty of stuff to watch. No, there's no shortage. So, but I at least have a background in following and watching these sports. With the kids that don't, or their parents that don't, where's the exposure going to come from? And then as time goes on, those kids become in their 20s and 30s. We talk about the nostalgia. Lewi, where's the nostalgia if you never watched it growing up at all?
There isn't any.
Yeah. And that's going to hurt the demographic down the road because it's like, all right, so who's going to collect this shit? It can't just be Eric. We can put bionic parts in him or something, but we can only keep him around so long. And he's pretty much buying Reggie Lemons, and that's about it.
Well, somebody's got him.
I like Reggie Lemons.
Yeah. So to answer Mike's question, there used to be more O-Pee-Chee baseball at the Expo, but over the years, a lot of the vintage guys have picked it apart. Like they've gone through the boxes and binders. It's still possible, but it's a lot less than it used to be even 10, 15 years ago. Go ahead, Brandon.
Just to give Mike an example, one of my challenge goals personally when I went to the Expo for the first time, and it's a card that you can go on eBay and find, but I wanted to buy a 1990 O-Pee-Chee Ken Griffey Jr. And I asked dealer after dealer after dealer, and nobody had it. So there was some there, but it can be a little bit, depending on what you're looking for, it can be a little bit difficult to find.
Yeah, there used to be a fair bit because you used to actually be able to, and I remember going to dealers that used to have boxes and cases of like, so for that example that Brandon's giving, they used to have cases of 1990 O-Pee-Chee baseball by the box. You could buy a case if you wanted. And then over the years, it dwindled away. People got rid. And then as the price of stuff started to go up in PSA 10, people would buy the case and open up all the packs. And that's how you disperse it. And then all of a sudden, the cases were gone, the singles were gone, and they just kind of would disappear. but it wasn't around all, like there wasn't a ton of quantity comparatively to the Tops version of it. I remember my dad used to like going to garage sales, and we'd find O-Pee-Chee cards. There used to be in bunches, because it used to be certain folks that would actually buy them. Because I remember going to a garage sale, and I bought a box of baseball cards, and in it was a bunch of 86 O-Pee-Chee. And the person had opened up clearly a fair number of packs, because they had all the Hall of Famers. So it's Tony Gwynn, Pete Rose, all the guys in 86, because you still had Tom Seaver was still in the set, I think, and a bunch of Hall of Famers at the end of the run, and a bunch of Hall of Famers near the beginning of their career, like Wade Boggs and those guys were in the set too. But the set was 396 cards, but it was all O-Pee-Chee. Eric, everything's O-Pee-Chee, and it was all O-Pee-Chee.
Everything is O-Pee-Chee.
And it was all O-Pee-Chee.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So it's a whole...
7 O-Pee-Chee baseball set is actually a really fun set. I think they did a good job with it. I like the background on those a lot more. Okay. O-Pee-Chee good for me, but Frank Thomas, Chipper Manny, all pack pulled. Yes. 7 O-Pee-Chee is the best. Yeah. I prefer the design on the back of the card much more than the 71 Tops version.
That's the black ones, right?
Yeah. So black border on the front, obviously condition sensitive. But what they did in the 71 O-Pee-Chee versus what they did in the 71 Tops, the background on the Tops is green, and it's got kind of the player's image, like the headshot is in the corner. But for the 71 O-Pee-Chee, it's literally a floating headshot in the middle, and it's kind of a yellow. It's very interesting. But between the two, if you put them side by side, it looks way better. I think they did a better job with the 71 O-Pee-Chee. Sylvan Unopened 1991 O-Pee-Chee wax box. Nice. I like that. Yellow on the back. That's right. I'm going to try to assemble the 69 O-Pee-Chee Decollage set. Again, not on eBay. Fair. Yep. Yeah, they did a good job on some of those. I think it's interesting, because that was O-Pee-Chee used to be, because I collected a lot of vintage years ago. O-Pee-Chee was where the guys would go when they wanted more of a challenge, because they had already finished, all the stuff that O-Pee-Chee had going back to the 60s. So you did your 60s sets, you did your 70s sets, and all of a sudden you're, hey, let me try doing the O-Pee-Chee version just to make it a little more challenging for yourself. And they were available. And sometimes, Eric, they didn't even sort out the difference. I would go through boxes, and they'd have the O-Pee-Chee one with the Tops one, and the person wouldn't have sorted the difference. I remember buying a Willie McCovey 1970 O-Pee-Chee. All you got to do is look at the back. It's English and French on the back, and you can immediately tell. And it says O-Pee-Chee printed in Canada, and which one's which, but they didn't distinguish between them. They just put in the 70 Tops box. They weren't paying attention.
Whoops.
And for some reason, it's relatively, it's not that big of a deal to find O-Pee-Chee hockey cards down here. It's not as easy as it is in Canada, and they're still, more desirable than Tops. But to find O-Pee-Chee baseball down here, it's nearly impossible. So I don't know why that's the case. Because I don't collect baseball at all, but it's impossible to get O-Pee-Chee baseball. I don't know, Louis. I don't know. Do you collect it? Do you see it? Do you know of people who?
I used to. You don't see much of it around here either. I couldn't even start. See, those are awesome.
O-Pee-Chee.
I know a lot of people aren't a fan of that's 87, right?
87. Yep.
It's one of my favorite sets, even though it's way overdone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see enough of those around. I just try to pick out the puckets, all the O-Pee-Chee stuff I can get with him.
Yeah,
I think what happened too, but it's way off center. That was a bad thing with the bonds that year. Because a lot of them were off center real bad.
Well, basically that's what happened. A lot of them once the Sosa McGuire thing happened, and once the Bonds home run chase for him happened, and a lot of those people did start grabbing those, and they started throwing them to get them graded for their set registries and such, because the O-Pee-Chee was printed in lesser quantities for a lot of those years. They were the tougher chase, so they would go out and I guarantee you there's somebody who has a warehouse of 500,000 of them. I promise you. Right now, there's somebody who has a warehouse with a ton, but they basically hoarded it. And we're going to find out at some point, because at some point, I think there's going to be a fair amount of them put onto the marketplace. Now, it's not a crazy number compared to the Tops version of it, but it's literally being hoarded in this, and that's the problem that happens as soon as people get excited. And actually, this will be a quick topic that I can touch on with you guys. Here's the problem: almost everything gets ruined as soon as people realize, oh, it's rare. Hold on, it could be worth more, and then they get all excited, and then they literally run. It's the gold rush to go get as many as you can get your hands on. A bunch of people just start doing this, and before you know it, you're starting to try to scam people with taco packets.
Sure.
I think part of the difficulty too with me trying to find that Griffey was if a lot of the dealers didn't even like, as stupid as it sounds, because it's, you know, it was a Canadian show. A lot of the dealers didn't even know that it existed, that it was a thing. And that card is confusing because the front still has the Topps logo on it. The only way to really differentiate it is on the back. The copyright era. But,
well, also it's in English and French.
Well, I didn't know that part. I knew on the back where like the copyright was, it would say printed in Canada and all that.
Yeah.
But I never paid attention that it was in both languages. But that's
the problem. The problem was, part of the reason they don't know is because when it came to those sets, they were distributed, but it wasn't. Let's put it this way. Again, I collect in the early 90s. You could find 1990 Topps everywhere. There was no shortage of it. So it's like when I was going to the store and I was getting 1990, 91, 92, 93, 94, I'm getting the Topps version. It was only when they went to O-Pee-Chee Premier, which was a completely different design, that you actually started having the O-Pee-Chee version kind of front and center. Well, they jacked up the print run. So yeah, it's available. It's in front of your face. Even the hockey version, which was super popular and expensive for a while there, was it short printed compared to 1991 Topps Baseball? Yes. Was it short printed compared to anything that's actually short printed? No. There's plenty of it.
Did you guys get like a good quantity of the traded sets? Because they didn't do the O-Pee-Chee in the traded versions, which obviously, as we know, has a lot of the key rookies in it. So did you see the traded sets up there, or were they pretty hard to find?
If you're talking about late 80s, early 90s, we had everything.
Okay. I wasn't sure since they didn't put those in the O-Pee-Chee run. So
yeah, I opened so 90 you're talking about O-Pee-Chee or Topps right now?
Well, they didn't do the updates in O-Pee-Chee versions, so I wasn't sure if you guys had like a good availability on the update and traded sets in the late 80s.
I opened boxes of 1990 Topps traded. Dealers had them by the case. There was a crap ton of it. They're still printing it in Eric's basement right now.
Quiet. That's a secret. I shouldn't have told you.
I thought those. I know 89 did. I'm trying to remember on 90, but
90 was in boxes. 90 was in boxes. You actually had packs. You had packs.
Okay. Yeah.
I
knew the 80s they were sets. I was trying to remember back on because I don't even.
They had those too, but in 1990 specifically, they had packs. I remember because I opened them.
So that's when they transitioned it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they had plenty of them. Like there was no shortage. Man, I probably have a couple of sets sitting in a box somewhere. Like I opened a fair number of those. Like I said, early 90s. I started collecting in 1990, but I didn't really start opening packs until 91. But even then, 1990s stuff was still easily available everywhere and anywhere you want to go in 92 and 93. Like there was crap tons of it everywhere. So there was no shortage. You had plenty.
Yeah. I mostly got the stuff at like Christmas and birthdays and stuff. And I'm sure y'all all will remember, but the big like plastic like candy cane tubes that were filled with all the different packs and little single cards and all that stuff. That was like my biggest exposure to it. My grandparents sometimes would buy me like the Topps collecting kits that would have like the binder with all the cards on it. And, so I didn't open a lot of wax and outside of those things. So it was kind of a mixture and who knows what the hell you were getting in it, but it was fun. So.
You guys remember the first box of cards you opened up?
I do.
Yes.
Yep. Which one was it? What was it, Eric? 1867, 1868? What was it?
Yeah, it was the one with Abraham Lincoln's card in it.
Ooh, sweet.
And I was able to get it autographed before he was assassinated.
Allegedly. Spoilers, Eric. Spoilers.
I don't remember the first box I opened because I don't think I ever opened a box when I was a kid or anything.
Brandon, did they have boxes back then? You know, they were tobacco packs. Like that's
Who
not
made them?
boxes.
They were cartons.
Okay, just say it. You were getting your cigs. That's not really a box per se.
No, I don't know why. I won't forget it, and I don't know why my dad bought it. And I was probably, let's see, 89, and what, 10, 11-ish. So he brought home a box of 89 Donruss, and we pulled the Griffey. Rated
Not
red,
bad, man.
baby.
That's not bad. That's
But
not bad.
I don't, and I should ask him. He's probably not going to even remember, but why he even bought it. But that's when I was getting big into collecting constantly, and he came home with that, and I will never forget it. I was so excited. But then
Well,
he,
I opened an 89 Donruss box a couple of years after the fact, and to be honest, it was nice pulling the Griffey. It was fun, and the set actually was decent. I like the set. Again, overproduced notwithstanding. Like I still like the set. I think some of those Donruss sets in the other one I didn't really like was 88. Like 88 was kind of ugly. I wasn't a big fan of that
the
one.
red one.
So no, that was 90 was the red one.
Okay.
But 88 was kind of the blue with kind of the blue and black around the edges.
Yep.
Yeah, but I just don't. It didn't work for me. But 89 I thought was all right, and 87, to be honest, the black border I liked it fine. I had no issue with that. So a lot of those late 80s ones, most of them, honestly, I enjoyed the Donruss sets.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun to find. Since we were talking about the O-Pee-Chee, the 87 Leaf are kind of fun to find.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Orlando has 68 tops for his first once he opened.
Sweet.
Still 92 Pro PG Premier stores here.
Hold on. Do you still have them? The 68 tops, from that box break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Orlando did talk about that, but feel free, Orlando. Feel free to answer that one. D. Jackson says, mine was 82 tops and 82 Fleer and Donruss. Cal Ripken Jr. rookie year, bought 3 packs of 1980 tops, pulled a George Brett. Very nice. I like it. Dan says 1970 tops for Dan. Very good.
Nobody cares, Dan. Go away.
That was probably more in my range. If I opened a full box, it would have been something cheap and mass produced. And I was big into basketball in the early 90s. So it probably would have been something like a 90s skybox or something like that. But I honestly, I didn't have the connection, like it's cool to hear Louis say, his dad brought home the box and they would open it. My mom, my stepdad, like they weren't into sports at all. Going back to Carlos's thing of like the nostalgia in the future, they weren't into sports. My grandfather, he didn't collect cards and all that. I wish he did. But he didn't collect cards or any of that stuff, but he enjoyed watching sports and all that and coming to my like little league games and all that stuff. So really my card youth was, like I said, getting a gift at Christmas or birthday or an Easter or something, and then the interaction amongst friends, trading and all that stuff at school or whatever. So I didn't get the box and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, that's why it's a valid question, is that the answer, first packs pulled or first cards, is not the same answer as first box, because that's a different conversation. It could be years later, and that's perfectly valid. That's fine. So Orlando answering Eric's question, still have the Ryan rookie I pulled. Very nice.
Awesome.
That would usually get me a box every Christmas of that year's upper deck. Very nice. 1990 Pro set, says Paul. I like it.
No, that's too bad.
Jeff, 1980 tops, says Jeff. Heard some weird noise from the bottom right of the screen. It sounded something in English. It's probably a glitch. Orlando says, first set I built from packs was 70. Very nice. I remember 92 the most. It's fair. When I was 8, my sister pulled a jersey card. I had never seen one. I still have it. I like it, Zach.
Cool.
We have access to cards after the first 4 or 5 series. The local grocery store switched to football in the fall. Found some 67, 5th series on a trip to Minneapolis. So basically, that was the thing with the series. Once it got to football season, that's why a lot of the high series became lower printed, because by that point, kids were moving on to football, so they just wouldn't be as popular. So getting the higher series became a thing later, especially with vintage.
Oh, yeah.
So real quick, Brandon, just since you mentioned it, I'll just show you. So here's the Griffey O-Pee-Chee that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So you can see it says tops there on the back, but if you look here,
on
en français.
too.
En français.
Mm-hmm.
So there's French on the. So basically, the blurb starts off English and then switches over to French. And if you look underneath complete Major League, fiche complete com, like immediately switches over to French.
So it's like all merged together in there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I never noticed that. I knew it had like the copyright thing and printed in Canada and all that, and that it looked
90
like a card.
By 90. So just to let you know, for a lot of years it was a lot more obvious, and then by 1990 they were kind of trying to smush them together a little bit. So that was the first year you could literally be like, okay, we're starting off in English, switching to French, and then you're literally smushing everything together. It's kind of weird.
It's kind of like Boston.
Yeah, totally. My first pack for 1980 Peachy Hockey. There you go. I remember 72 high series and cello packs at Woolsworth. I was the only one buying them. Fair enough.
So
yeah,
Lewi mentioned the Griffey Donruss that he pulled. What do you guys? I can't sit here and specifically remember the first box I opened, but do you remember the first exciting card that you got? Like that you were just ecstatic that you pulled it.
Oh, pulled? I've never pulled a card that was any good. Honestly, I know that sounds silly, but no, I've never ever pulled a card that was like, oh my God, it's a jersey card, autograph card. This is exciting. Oh my God. No, never once.
Your problem, Eric, is you were looking for Boston Bruins cards, and that kind of ruined the whole thing. Like at that point, it's just disappointment. That was the feeling.
I stopped buying boxes. We've talked about this in the past. I'll just hit it quick. When really expensive inserts started to come into hockey products, I was done with buying modern because I dumped so much money into buying, 1990 Upper Deck and Pro Set and Score, and in the first, I would say 90 to 94 during the boom, just trying to keep up with it all. And then I finally was like, all right, I'm done. I'm just anything after 1990 can go pound sand. I'm getting rid of this crap. I'm only collecting vintage. So 1994, all of a sudden you start getting some serial numbered stuff. And then shortly after that, you get jersey cards and autograph cards. And I was out of the modern, we'll call it at the time modern at that point. So all the boxes I opened, it was basically base, and we were happy to get it. That's what you were going. You were looking for the base cards. You wanted the complete sets. You wanted team sets. So I was completely out on modern when modern got good.
Eric was all about that base.
I was all about the vintage, and I haven't looked back. So
real quick before we proceed, I'll finish just that first thought. So my first box, Lewi, was 91 Topps Baseball. That was the first box that I was opening. That was the 40th anniversary of Topps. So, and I remember where I actually opened a couple of mega boxes of 2026 Series 1 because the retro pullback, the 35th anniversary retro included in this set was 1991 Topps design. So Topps got some of my money because I'm like, all right, you know what? This nostalgically, that was the first set that I actually bought boxes of and opened packs of from boxes. So, all right, you guys get my money for one, because it is the 35th anniversary, which does not make me happy that it's 35th anniversary, Louis. I would rather have staved that off a couple more years. But because that was the retro included in it, and I have some 1991 styled cards included in there, I'm like, all right, I'll open a couple of boxes of this. But that was the first one that I actually opened. Paul here says 1997 Topps Mystery Finest Refractor Brugier. I first thought it was the print defect because the light shined off of it. Mystery Refractor is a good one. Stuke says 70-71 Tall Boy was the first basketball I opened. Went to Davis Lake, North Dakota. There was a box on the counter. I asked if I could get a couple of packs. He asked if I wanted more. I said yes. Mike Good here says, I'm like Eric. It was rare that I pulled anything good, but I had a friend who's got a horseshoe up his butt, and it seemed like he was always pulling like it. Yeah, it's a good question, Louis. Some people going back to the memory banks, finding some of the old memories. Quite a range though. We had Orlando with 68 Topps, Dan with 70 Topps, all the way into the 90s and late 80s, and quite a range.
I can't remember my first box, but I will say in this, even hockey folks, and Eric mentioned, the modern stuff and all that. The first card that I got super excited, I always wanted to pull a super team card. I didn't really care who it was. I thought that was an awesome design and idea that they had where, if you pulled the team, they made the playoffs, they won, you got these special sets or whatever. And so I pulled the Houston Rockets out of one of the cello packs, the rack packs. And it was the year that they went all the way to the finals, played the Lakers, or not the Lakers, the Magic. And I was a huge Shaq fan. And I still remember staying up each night to see who in the hell won the game. And I was torn because I was a big Shaq fan and I wanted him to win. But at the same time, I had this Rocket super team card that I wanted to redeem so damn badly to get that full set and everything with the stamp on it and stuff. And sure enough, the Rockets swept the Magic and everything. But I still have the redeemed card, and I have the jumbo 5x7 ones they did. I don't know what I did with the full complete set, though, unfortunately.
That's usually the way it goes. I have a bunch of stuff from back in the original day. Now, some of it I kind of wish I'd got. Some of it I'd like to get rid of. That's a different conversation. It's taking up bulk room, but it is a different thing. Carlo in Plastic here says, still remember pulling the 92 Flair Ultra Shaq, all rookies, and rejectors within a few packs. Should have taken the offer from the LCS. The early 90s Shaq was selling for pretty good money there. Playbox. I'm assuming you mean something else, but I don't know. Playbox, maybe. Maybe he means Playbox.
I don't know what that is, and so I assumed he meant something else also, but I don't know.
Here's a request.
Oh,
Why?
you can't.
You do not trust in Paul's goodness? How dare you?
First of all, no. As we all know, Paul has conned me before with the help of Bill Ranford, so they can both go pound sand. But it ends with an A. My Boston accent is not going to be affected by words that end with A.
Wow.
Mega. I mean, how else would you say that? Mega.
Still have the redeem.
I like that it's stamped on the back redeemed. That's a good bonus.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's printed actually, or something. They send you one back. It showed that it was redeemed. But yeah,
I like that.
I still have that, and I still have the 5x7, the jumbo ones. But I don't know what I did with the full set.
I think it's fair. I had that Rockets finals and the 5x7 set. Very nice. Yeah, a lot of that 90s stuff though, like it ended up being just in piles of boxes. I'm sitting there like, oh, I don't want this shit anymore. I got too many 91 Donruss branded. That's the one I need to get rid of. The 91. So the first box. So Louis' question was the first box. That is 1991 Topps baseball, totally. But the one that I opened the most packs of back in the day was 1991 Donruss baseball, Series 1 and Series 2. I got a crap ton. I have like 12 Eddie Murray cards from that set.
Well, we all know that it could have been the alternative of 91, which should have never been created.
Which one?
Fleer, 91 Fleer. It should have never been created.
Hey, I bought a complete set of 91 Fleer because some people were bitching and moaning about the yellow. That I was like, yes,
It was terrible.
Let's go.
Yeah, but
Hey,
the
complain too
provisions were great.
What was that?
The provisions were great.
The provisions were very good. Yes, it's true. Louis, it's one of those things that the people freak out about the yellow. I was like, no, I literally bought sets specifically because some of you were bitching and moaning about the yellow. Oh, I'm going to get a complete set of this. Yes, buddy. Yeah, Mike says, Carlos will trade you some Blue Jays for the Yankees. Listen, man, I would do that deal for you, except I'm confident I have a couple of complete team sets of the Jays. I opened so many packs. So basically what happened is, so again, speaking, Eric, what I was saying earlier, the family wasn't into sports at all. But again, Carlos Sr. was a good sport about it. And he'd play along. Like I enjoyed it. I was playing baseball. So he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. That's fine. So for him, so what he would do is he would actually buy a bunch of the packs of 91 Donruss and put it on top of the refrigerator. So when I completed, chores or homework or whatever, and it's like, here you go, you can have a couple packs of this, a couple packs of that. And there. So I was opening packs by the crap ton. I probably opened a couple of boxes worth of each one of those packs. But yeah, it was just that the packs were available there that way. And then when I'd go to the store, I'd get a couple of packs here and a couple of packs there. But so I don't regret that because at the same time, like it was fun at the time. But yeah, the cards are barely kindling. Like, it's just they printed so many. It is what it is. But I think kind of sidetracking to a point that I make, it's unfortunate that part of the problem is that now, again, even the collectors try to talk around this. When they talk about that era and they complain about the junk wax era and everything, they're like, "Oh, but those cards are worthless." Well, that at the time that wasn't the point. Yes, I'm aware it's worthless. I totally get that, but I can still tell you about the 1991 Topps cards that I liked. By the way, they're all worthless, but that's okay. Who cares?
Good photography in that 91 Topps.
Yeah, it was great photography in that set. They did a good job with it. Louis, I still have a lot. Again, I bought a 2026 boxes for nostalgia of 1991 Topps, a set that again is worthless.
Yeah, but
just
fun.
Yeah, just a loose connection to it is enough to make it worthwhile for me to spend money in 2026 just to have a little piece of that 1991 Topps included in there.
So to Brandon's question, I was trying to think. I've never opened a pack and gotten anything like super sweet for myself. So when I was growing up, younger, I have to ride my bike to the store and buy packs as soon as I had enough money, get on my bike, buy packs, and I would go buy packs of basketball cards because all my friends were mostly basketball fans and I needed to trade them for Puckett cards. And that was the only way to do it. Now I do remember, speaking of those provisions, I did, and who knows what it's worth now, but I did pull one of the Jordan provisions out of 91 Fleer.
That's the one where he's like flying up to the sky with the ball. Yep.
But and of course I traded it off for who knows what Puckett or something else or whatnot. But I think that's probably the biggest card I ever honestly pulled out of a pack, and I was probably 12. I don't get anything. I can't open packs nowadays. If you want to get nothing, you have me open the pack for you.
As cool as the provisions were back then, I don't think that at that age that we understood how special they actually were for that time period. That artwork and everything, like the Bo Jackson, the Nolan Ryan, there were so many cool art pieces, and the Dionne where he had on, the two uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we really, it was something different, but I don't think we understood then, how special that was to get one. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's interesting about that question, I think it's a good question, is that I kind of have to separate it into two eras, because then in the later era, I opened boxes here and there, and I've had some good luck. Like I opened some of the wrestling cards. I've pulled one of ones out of wrestling card boxes and stuff. And I've pulled cards that I've actually been able to sell for a little bit of money because I was like, okay, that's a duplicate. It's not a character that I collect. Hey, I'll sell it and get my money and then collect something else and get the singles. But in the earlier era, the best card that I remember pulling was actually from a retail pack, not a blaster, a pack. So at the convenience store, they'd have some. And it was 99 2000 Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
And in 99 2000 Pacific, the Kramer's Choice were actually numbered. So the Kramer's Choice for that year. And I actually have got an image of an example of it. So as we were talking, I pulled up an example. So this is actually what I pulled out of a retail pack. So it was an example of this here. Give me 1 second. Let me get the tab here. I pulled one of these. So I pulled the Kramer's Choice of Peter Forsberg.
That's cool.
So it's a cool looking card. You can get a little bit of a sense of the shine there. That whole top section is all rainbow foil. Beautiful card. Die cut, beautiful card, numbered to $2.99. I sold it for a decent little bit of money because I'm not too precious about it, because I didn't collect Forsberg. By that point, I was already collecting Medano and all that. I knew I could sell it, get some decent money at the time, and get some Medano cards for it. And I did. But I would say that was my best pull because, again, from a retail pack, the odds were super long. To get one of these out of a retail pack,
mm-hmm.
I killed the odds on that one. But that was far and away one of the best cards I pulled from it. Again, great player, great card, great set, great design. It had all the pieces on it. And today, Eric, you can get it for the princely sum. That one sold for $4.99, which tells me, Eric, that maybe I should just buy one so that I can have a copy back. Louis, sell high, buy low.
Exactly.
Very nice guy, by the way.
Yeah. But I also say, well, unfortunately, you didn't meet him. You did meet a janitor once that kind of looked like him.
Nope. I hung out with Peter Forsberg. Yes,
The
I
man
did.
was holding him up.
No, he was not.
Was that not a tip for you?
He's very
Hint.
nice. Nope. He's a very nice guy.
So now that tells me, Louis, what my takeaway from this is that I should buy that card now, because I'm like, I totally would buy that back, because that was my best pull of like my era buying packs and things. It's like, if I can get it back for $5, Louis, I'm in. I get the card
Hey.
back.
I bought back the 89 Donruss Griffey. I had no clue where it went, but I ended up buying it back because I needed it again, because it's just, I remember pulling it with my dad. I really wish I still had the original card, but
Right.
good enough.
No, I think that's fair. But yeah, it was a good question though, because it kind of at the time, certain cards were really tough to pull, and down the road, the people didn't value it as much, which is fine. Do you remember as a kid, it didn't matter what card you traded as long as it was for something you needed or was your home team, which is true. That is very true. Very true. That 91 Upper Deck Jordan baseball card was an SP and probably had 1 million copies. Yes.
So that comment there actually brings up a good point of the difference in today versus then, because if I'm not mistaken, that Jordan, it was an SP, but it was like one every box or 2 boxes or whatever the pull rate on it was. And I think it puts into perspective of where we were then versus where we are today, because today we expect an SP to be a case hit or every other case or something like that. But that's because people are buying boxes and cases, and you got breakers ripping 7 to 10 cases in a one single break. Back then, we were lucky to get 2 packs, so especially Upper Deck. So I think that puts things into perspective. It was short printed because you could have been the only person buying it, but it might have took you 36 weeks to get a pack a week to pull the damn thing. So it's an interesting point, but it puts the timeline really into a interesting perspective.
So I think there is an aspect to that. So kind of playing into that for a second. And Chad, feel free to chime in on this. Again, this episode is just us having a little bit of fun and shooting the breeze on a couple of different topics and ranging from one to the other. But I think, Louis, you'll get what I'm saying with this. Part of the reason that section of stories where we talk about the different sets, the different boxes, the different packs and cards you pulled and all that, the reason it worked is because it was a lot less expensive at that time. So the stakes on pulling these cards were nothing. The stakes were not very anything at all. And I said that to the guys when I opened one of the 2 boxes of that 2026 Topps on Friday. And when I did it though, I went and got 2 boxes from Mint Inc. Here you go, Gongshow kind of adjacent, Mint Inc. So, but it was 75 Canadian per box. So Louis, even though it's a mega box, at 75 Canadian per box, 2 boxes, $150. I was comfortable with that because I'm like, look, as an adult now, $150 is not what it was when I was a kid, but $150 compared to some boxes today, some of the boxes and the price point of some of these isn't too crazy. And I had 2 boxes out of it and I was able to open it. If the price point is reasonable, then it's not as big a deal. I didn't need to pull anything crazy. That wasn't the point. The point is I could open some packs, have a little fun with it, look at what the cards look like, see some of the inserts and see whatever it was. The problem is some of these things are so expensive now. The stakes are so high. Now you have to pull the crazy card. We don't have time to give a shit about what the base cards look like if they've got some good photos or whatever. We need to pull something good, Brandon, to get our money back because it costs us so much damn money.
To the other point, though, Louis, told his story earlier about he would save his money up, ride his bike to the store, buy some basketball packs, pull some cards, trade with his buddies. Okay. You just mentioned that as an adult, $150 isn't that bad. But I think that's where we are disconnected because we remember our childhood. It's what got us connected to all of this. $150 for a kid is a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're running, shoveling snow or mowing yards for $20 or whatever, that's a different ball game than us forking out 75 cents as a kid to buy a pack of cards or 50 cents or $1 when Upper Deck came out, whatever. So to us, it doesn't seem terrible because, we are adults now. But if we were putting ourselves in our 10 or 11-year-olds and thought even, let's assume it was $20 for what we were spending, that was $3 or $4. that would have put things in a lot bigger perspective. So, I think that's another disconnect that's happening within the kids. But then you also see these kids at shows with freaking 5-6 figures worth of cards in their damn cases, and you're like, where in the hell are they getting this from? So
Well, stop being poor, Brandon.
Yeah,
Do better.
exactly.
because you're
And it's not being poor, it's being cheap as hell. We've had this discussion.
You're like, $5? Good Lord, man. What are you doing?
Juan Soto was a big regret.
But no, so the reason I made my point though is that I'm saying when the stakes were lower, you could afford the luxury of looking at the cards in a little bit of a different light. So I understand why with these higher. So I'll give you an example. So Lewi and the Gongshow guys were talking about Fleer Ultra, and they were talking about that whole thing. And the price point in the US is huge, and the price point here honestly is too high. Like it's way too high. I'm not as big. I don't get as excited about Fleer Ultra as much as you guys did, but because I remember Fleer Ultra from the 90s, it's okay. I'm not. It's fine. I think some of this card sets in it and all that are really good. Not $300, $400, $500 good.
Well,
But-
no. Look at the example we just did on the top selling cards. You paying $500 for a box, and the top selling card in there is, and when they first come out, everybody pays out their ass, right?
right.
Yep.
Top selling cards like 200 and some bucks. In a $500 box of cards, you should be getting $1,000, $2,000 card.
As your best pull. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the big crazy money, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem the problem isn't that the set itself is bad. The problem is the price proposition, the price point is out of whack. If that same box was $100 or $150, we'd be having a completely different discussion. Okay, then yeah, fine, sure, why not? Whatever. But the price point matters. And
Well,
Eric,
Josh,
that's been the running joke.
Before I knew the price, Josh asked me, he said, hey, I'm going to go to the shop when it comes out. If I can get you a box, how much are you willing to pay? I'm like, Fleer Ultra, I am $150, $175 at the most. Okay. And then there wasn't any there. But then I went online and looked at somebody that was having it $499. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Hey, I have a question, Louis. If you said a second ago, if for $500 a box, you want $1,000, $2,000, an opportunity to get a $1,000, $2,000 card.
Sure.
What is a $2,000 hockey card pulled out of a 25, 26 box? What would it have to be $2,000 in today's market for a hockey card? I mean, a Celebrini autograph.
Celebrating autograph.
Yeah. Well, oh my God, that'd even be more nowadays. You know what? It'd have to be some short print, fancy insert, auto, maybe. I don't know.
It's got to be by the way, it's got to be numbered. Saying it's got long odds is not good enough. Brandon and I have had this conversation where like operator can be like, it's 1 in 6,000 packs. No one is looking that up.
No.
We can look that up and we can tell you this and it can be true, but it's like, okay, what's it numbered out of? It's not numbered. Doesn't matter then. Make it out of 10 and then you'll get your money. But
I mean,
make it 1 in 6,000 packs is not going to work.
I mean, is a Gretzky, stick card, jersey, auto on card, is that $2,000 nowadays? I mean, what's a $2,000 card in hockey fresh out of the box nowadays? What does that have to be to get that price tag in hockey?
Not a lot.
Yeah, I was so Eric, to kind of answer your question, to actually kind of seriously answer your question, for certain products, it will require a certain bit, but for some other products, it requires surprisingly little. The problem is that Ultra, for the price point that it's at, the audience is not assigning it that value. Because I can go, and so best example I can give, we can talk about $1,000, $2,000, but here, serious example. Obviously, I collect Medano and I collect the expansiveness of the Medano universe.
Yes.
I feel, I don't care if it's from the cup. In my mind, if you tell me it's a Medano on-card auto, it's like, dude, I've got hundreds of Medano on-card autos. But as soon as I say the cup, they're like, okay, $250. I'm sorry, why? Oh, it's from the cup. I don't care how much you paid for the pack. I'm looking at the item and saying, like, guys, how many on-card autos do you want? Like, I've got lots of them. But that's the going rate. It's the product that is driving the price more than the actual physical item itself. Because if I took the same card, same design, same everything, and put that in Flair Ultra, you're not getting $250 for it. I don't care what you say. It can be the identical design. It can be the identical. Just switch out the cup logo for Flair Ultra. It's the same card. I'll give you $75 for it. That's a little going the other way, though. Because real quick, Brandon, just to answer Eric's question, though. If it's the right brand, Celebrini basically anything, and it'll be $2,000. Like if it's the right brand. If it's the wrong brand, then I'm going to need you to give me a redemption for the Stanley Cup itself. Maybe then someone will give a shit.
Is McDavid, I mean, people pulling, are selling, $2,000 McDavid cards. Are they the going rate? Because I just don't see hockey
Eric
cards.
for the right brand. We belong. You should watch. Look, I'd never recommend this because again, pseudo Canadian Phil they've got a top 5.
Yeah.
And you would be shocked the amount of random crap that is $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. And you're sitting there like, why is that $50,000? Because reasons. 2,000 is a pittance.
I first of all, and I don't have to, if I say the sentence, I don't have to then repeat it, right? Someone else has to. So I
think Eric's having a stroke, Brandon.
No, to be that word.
Oh, I think you need to sing your own bit. Go ahead.
No, that just seems reckless. Everyone knows that I say all the time, I don't watch a lot of card content. I don't have.
Agreed. You don't watch anything that fills on. I understand. Go ahead.
So I don't watch a lot. When I do get a chance to watch it, I definitely watch the Gong Show. So I am aware that they do a history piece, which I really like about Hall of Fame players and things. I really like that. They really go into depth and stuff. I like that. And I do watch the part where they, the current sales. So I am aware that those things happen on the Gong Show because I do watch that occasionally. But I just don't watch a lot of card content. I just don't.
To answer your question though, Eric, is that right now there are certain brands and everything. The $1,000 threshold is actually surprisingly easy to hit if you've got the right name and the right brand. The right name and the right brand is the combination. So are there McDavid cards $1,000, $2,000? Absolutely, tons of them.
Yeah,
are they from low end brands? No,
I definitely know 1,000. I was kind of more focusing on the 2,000 and up, like
with the right brand. Absolutely.
So, but what do you think about? This $500 box brand of was it Flair Ultra? Is that what we're right?
Yeah, it's $150 box masquerading in a $500 wrapper.
Right. Are you gonna get a $2,000 Celebrini patch auto rookie magic unicorn yellow rainbow?
Well, that's the problem though. The point is for the $500 box price you should. Because the brand doesn't hold that cachet, because Flair Ultra has never been a high-end brand. Go back to the history. Flair Ultra is not a high-end brand.
Right.
And because it's not a high-end brand, the audience looks at the brand and says, no. That's why I gave the example a moment ago about the cup. I said, if I take a non-card auto of the same player and say, this is from the cup, you're going to be like, oh, it must be this. Perfect example, my favorite. That year, it's not the cup, but it's the National Treasures. It's the Stanley Cup medallion autograph set. Beautiful looking set, by the way. Beautiful set. But then you've got the one with just the medallion, and then you've got the autograph version out of 10. I've been offered the Medano for that set. It's out of 10 again. National Treasures is out of 10. It's literally a non-card auto of Mike Medano out of 10. I can go to the box, Lewi. I can find you out of 10 Mike Medanos on-card autograph. I can show you from UD Black. I can show you from the cup. I can pull a crap. I have more than most people could hope to have in a lifetime. Oh, $1,000. Why? Well, it's like it's an on-card auto. The medallion isn't actually from the Stanley Cup. Just so you know, they didn't melt down the Stanley Cup and put it on. It's literally a piece of metal, and somebody put a Stanley Cup design on it and literally stamped it and throw it on there. I can have somebody do that at Etsy, and I can have Mike Medano sign the card for me, and it will still cost me a fraction of what you're asking for.
right?
No, you would have me ask Mike Modano to put his autograph on it.
Yes, I would have people do it. Yes, correct.
Mhm.
Yes.
That would be part of it.
So
But the point is, I could literally get an equivalent. I could have somebody custom make it for me, and it would still be cheaper than what they're asking for.
Okay, on these fun topics, I'm going to bail. I appreciate you letting me on. It was good to see
worries.
you boys. Brandon, good to see you. I haven't talked to you since the Expo,
yes, sir.
but
Would it help you to stay if I told you I'm leaving?
absolutely not.
Okay. Because I'm also leaving. I have to go to the airport and pick up my wife.
Oh, you should at least ask her how Ham was. How'd it
I
go?
want to talk about it.
All right, we'll talk about it on Friday.
I don't want to talk about it.
Louis, thank you for coming on. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
It's good
See
to
ya.
see
Take it
you.
easy.
buddy.
Later.
All right, so real quick, I'll answer this and then I'll go in. So we'll go for a couple more minutes and then we'll shut her down and then we'll send Eric off and then the jokes will spring eternal on Friday. So Zach said, joined a few minutes ago. Could I ask if you see Dustin's making a new Hall of Fame? I did. Vote for us. No, that's it. That's all I got. Vote for us. Just do it.
I will not be roped into another disappointment.
Then don't do anything. Just let Zach vote for us. This will be fine.
Okay.
That's all you need. North Star Team Side Stake would be worth more in 92, 93 instead of 91, 92. True. Why isn't there a Tesla insert SSP? That'd be valid. All right, Eric, you can go now. You're all set.
All right, guys, you take it easy. Good night, everyone in the chat. I'm on my way to Logan Airport to pick up my wife and mother-in-law, who's going to stay with us for a week.
Ah, Joy.
We will see everyone on Friday if I'm still alive. All right.
Mm.
Take care.
I bet you'd still be alive if you had a kazoo to play.
I don't no longer have a kazoo.
Oh, what a shame.
The kazoo is dead.
For now.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, no worries. I did see it. For the record, though, Dustin stuffed it into the back of a video. I had no idea what people were. Brandon, I literally heard about this, and then I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought it was like a standalone video, but it's literally like shoved into the back end of it. Look, I have no problem with trying to get cheap engagement. I understood. I got the idea, but I'm like, you literally shoved it at the end. Just make it a video. Get your money's worth out of the deal. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
I was sitting here while you guys were talking about the Flair Ultra, and I was checking out the checklist.
Mhm.
There is not a chance in hell that I would even come close to wanting a box of this because,
No.
first of all, the autographs I am pretty sure are all sticker.
Pretty much, yeah.
Most the autograph odds are pretty tough, but when you get into like the inserts, unless you're chasing like the parallel numbered stuff, for the actual inserts, there's like one that's 1 out of 225 and one that's out of 450. And I'm gonna be honest, and you know, I know that I am hard on Upper Deck a lot, but the two examples that are here on the Beckett product sheet are absolutely horrendous. You have Cale Makar on the card with like looks like flowers. You can't even see his name.
Yeah, that's like the background thing. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
And then Austin Matthews, like it's a bunch of like shapes and colors, but you can't even tell.
Yeah, it's like the polygon one. It's like the polygon one.
Yeah, it's called angulars, which I get the idea, but you can't tell who the hell the player even is. Like if it didn't have the name on it, you wouldn't know who it is.
And it's a very tough pull, by the way.
450 packs, yeah. But like, I get the creativity, I guess, but again, if the name wasn't there, I wouldn't know who it was.
I think it works out. I think it works out, Brandon, to 1 in 30 cases. 1 in 30 cases to pull an angular.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I bought some of the old, some of the past Ultra stuff that would hit EPAC and ComC and stuff. There's like, that for perspective, I might pick up some singles, but this is going to be a bloodbath at the price. Like, I just don't see anything here that's standing out for that price point. So,
Well, I think here's the funny thing about this. Kind of throwing that in. The problem is the product was not designed to be at that price point. That's basically what happened with the secondary market and distributors and all that. But there's going to be an e-pack version of it too. So you know that once the e-pack version, so here's what I'm curious about. Once the e-pack version of it comes out, and there's going to be different enticements to get people to open those boxes and get them out. So then a bunch of the inserts, tough as some of them are going to be then available again.
Yep.
So you're going to have that second wave where the price will then just straight down.
Yep. And
So it's like,
it I don't know. It's tough on this. Like it to me, as soon as I started looking through it, it feels like they're trying to make another extension of Metal Universe, which hasn't, like, there's a lot of us that like those inserts if we collect other sports, but something that needs to withstand and withhold the hockey value side of it is it has to resonate with the hockey collectors. And from what I've gathered, a lot of the pure hockey collectors don't care for those inserts that have, began amongst the other sports. So when you're trying to take this and create the product, okay, I get that you're trying to be creative here, but I don't know that it's going to work. Especially not at the price point. So.
Zach here says, I just saw he made a community post that had like no comments. Yeah, Dustin's half-hearted. If he's going to do his YouTube Hall of Fame 2.0, I'm going to need a little bit. I'm going to need a standalone video, Brandon. Do a standalone video. Really lean behind it. Go for it.
Yep.
Ham says, Celio needs to know, let's see here. Celio needs to let us know who would upper deck. I think Ham is dipping into the beverages. Who keeps selling? Whoever's coming up with the ideas, they're great ideas design. Just saying. Billy Gibbons, listen, he's a sharp-dressed man. What do you want? Also, congrats to Sports Card Anonymous for 6,000 subscribers. I heard Will is ready to pay $6,000 for a personal live stream. Just saying. Excellent. Hashtag rigged. Speech to Texas a little rough. Listen. It is what it is, Ham. It is what it is. I don't know if that Monday night we're not going to do a Friday live stream length, but listen, what's funny, Brandon, is I have the time. I just don't have the energy or the inclination. Friday night I save it. I save it for Friday. And this week, Brandon, I already talked about this earlier tonight. This week, I already have a full slate of things coming up. So, number one, I've got on Thursday. I'm going to be hanging out in Cardboard and Cold Ones with Sammy Thunder YouTube channel. So they've invited me to go over there and do that. I have, not G-off, but adjacent to G-off. I'll be having a discussion this week and recording something that'll be on the channel this week. And then, of course, I got the Friday live stream. So already we've got a full slate happening over there in this channel, let alone what's going on in the other one. Plus, Cardboard Cynics episode with Dan and myself will be recorded this week, and it'll wind up on his channel probably before the end of the week. It'll be up to him when he wants to load it. So, Brandon, we're fully stocked. We're loaded on the contents for the content gods. Praise. Always praise the content gods. Are we all voting -10 for Dustin? We should. Although it kind of defeats the point, Dakota, that Dustin already kind of, again, I had no idea what the hell you guys were talking about until somebody literally pointed me to the video and said, here it is. It's literally attacked at the end of a video. The thing is, he already recused himself from the thing. So the -10 is like, we accomplished nothing. The only plus side is, Brandon, if we win Dustin's mockery of a mockable thing, he's offered a bowling pin and we could make him ship that shit to Canada.
Yep.
That'll cost him like all the sponsorship money. That's like $1 million.
And it better be full size too, Dustin.
That's right. I'm not taking it. I want a full bowling pin. Yeah. I want a full bowling pin. Yes. If you're going to do it, I want a full bowling pin.
Full blown. And it says something about like it would be, I don't know if it would be engraved, but it would have something on it too.
Look, whatever, man. The point is, like, look, at that point, you promised something. Now,
it might be cheaper for him to just send you a Rolex.
It might be cheaper. Yeah, Probably. At least he get the US to Canadian conversion discount. That'd be his best bet. It's probably cheaper that way. Indeed, Stu. So it appears this week we're busy. This week we got a lot going on. Carlson, Thursday, you can pop your IPA. I'll have one ready to go. I have a case. I have a case of this. Tonight was a special occasion. So real quick, I also want to mention this. Don't expect the BIC podcast to be live every week. It's good. It's one of those things where the last couple of weeks it's worked because we had the YouTube Hall of Fame thing. So I'll just quickly put the overlay just so we're on the same page here. The YouTube Hall of Fame thing was fun last week. This week, Brandon, honestly, I had no agenda items. We covered the important segments. We covered the key segments. We had that covered. But yeah, I didn't have anything good. And in this case, we were able to get Lewi to join us. So that's a bonus. That was a nice plus. It's a nice bonus. It worked out. So I don't have any problem, Brandon. I like doing the lives, but at the same time, I don't want to commit to multiple lives a week. However, once in a while, when honestly there's no crazy segments or anything wild, it's like I have no problem doing it live. No problem doing it at all. It's completely fine. Hit the like button. Eric will pay for it. We always appreciate the engagement either way. But yeah, most of the time it'll still be pre-recorded, but once in a while, I reserve the right to make it live because this is easy to do for us. It's fun to do. It's easy to do. And we get to interact with you. We get to go back. Brandon, this is how we actually get questions from the chat. It's very easy because as we're going, we actually get the questions from the chat. And that's what we've always asked for. By the way, if you check this out on replay, feel free to ask any question or give any comments or anything. Feel free. Do it. It's the best way. Maybe. Allegedly. Perhaps.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm. I did 9 for me plus -1 for Neo. I like it, Ham. I like it. Have him send the Alf to Eric, and Eric can give Alf the garage treatment. Yes.
Ooh.
I like that.
Dan's not an Alf fan.
Well, you know what's funny? I'll share it on Friday, Brandon. I actually had a little bit of fun with the whole Alf thing because obviously since Dustin's doing that thing, it's like, y'all don't know. Alf's pretty dark.
Hold on. Before we go, I'm going to.
We got a couple. Brandon, I'm not rushing us off the stage. I'm just laying the groundwork. So we're okay. Go ahead. Do your thing. Chat. Is there anything else you guys want to chat on? Thank you to Lewi for Hockey Card Gongshow. I'll leave a link in the description for you if you want to check it out. It is hockey card related content. So if you're not into that, probably it's not going to work for you. Otherwise, though, if you're curious and you would like to check it out, look, subscriber-wise, they've done very well. They've built up a good audience for themselves, but it is niche. It is focused on hockey cards. We kind of covered the full gamut. Louis is great because he can talk about different things. Obviously, we were able to have a conversation about it. He had the Kirby pocket card. That was cool. So we've got a little bit of a mix. But yeah, that show is specifically hockey cards. If you're into that, then I think that show will work for you. All right, Brandon, you ready? Have you got something there you want to share?
I don't have any OPG, but just for you,
nice.
Dan, I have Alf packs. I knew I had them in there, so I'll dig them out and share.
I like that.
I actually have a box of junk random just off the wall.
Yeah, I see the Dick Tracy for sure.
Yeah,
I like that they use basically the same design for the packs on Dick Tracy and Alf.
Yeah,
like it's basically the same. You just change the picture in the middle and just keep the same.
Got some Robin Hood.
Okay, that's right. That's right, Dakota.
Hey, and it's got gum in it. It's got gum in the back.
No, they got gum in those ones. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, this is a box of random.
Yeah, clearly, I can see that. Dan says, I have nothing against Alf. My R is for Dustin alone. Well, I'll include, I put together our AI overlords, Brandon. I put something a little together. Dakota knows what I've got. I put something a little together related to Alf. And let me tell you, Alf's pretty dark. If you actually see the end of Alf, the series, look, that was a dark ending. I think they were hoping for another season. It didn't happen. And it was left on a cliffhanger, but unfortunately it didn't work out for Alf. Spoilers. Just saying. First. Second, look, y'all see Dustin doing this whole lighthearted, oh, I'm just here hanging out with Alf. Hey, Alf, whatever. No. Alf is a lot darker. And on Friday, I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. Just saying. There's a little spoiler to give people a little tease for Friday. It's fair. That's right. All right, folks, real quick, couple of minutes before we wind down. We're finishing up here. But, yeah, nothing really crazy. No big news revelations. Kenny hasn't done anything ridiculous. Pokemon sale already happened. Logan Paul is probably off somewhere plotting, allegedly. But yeah, right now it's kind of just chill. We're waiting for the next thing. I guess we're waiting for some major shows and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. What's going on with you folks? Anything else you want to chat on before we call it an evening on a Monday? By the way, look, no Professor Sports Card Lives to compete with tonight. So we were just here and we were able to have the conversation and hang out and chat a bit. So you let me know if there's anything else you want to chat on before we call it an evening. I still have half a beer, so I'm going to finish it either way. Just offering the option. I'm offering the option to the people, Brandon. I'm offering the option to the people. They always say, oh, there's nothing on. Well, here we are. It is something. Can't commit to anything beyond that. It's just the watchful eyes of Brett Favre in the corner. Already showed off the pickups. Already covered the silly card of the week. So we'll have that on there. And then the other programming episode stuff coming up here on the channel. Forthcoming. And we send Eric off to hear about. Listen to Michelle talk about Florida Man. Dan says, Kevin O'Leary wearing the necklace is the low light of the week. Yes. Actually, this would be, we can touch on this for a second. My favorite thing right now about the Kevin O'Leary, the Mr. Wonderful, not Paul Orndorff version of it. Basically, he goes out there and he's doing this shtick where no matter what happens, the price of the damn card goes up.
Yeah.
Now it's $19 million. Why not 20 million, Kevin? Why not 40 million, 150 million? You're making up numbers at this point based on nothing.
In fairness to him, though, who in the hell put the 19 whatever on Card Ladder? Like, where's that number coming from?
I have so here's the thing that I know. Here's what I know about the Card Ladder thing. Whenever they do their estimate, it's based on an index of the players. So if the player index goes up, so I'll give you a really crude example. Let's say your card is $100 and it's whatever player, Kobe Bryant, $100 Kobe Bryant. Great. The Kobe Bryant market has gone up 20% based on whatever. There's been sales over the last little while. Now they're all up 20%. Your card is now magically $120. That's it. That's the answer to the question. I'm giving you a very basic example. If the Kobe Bryant market in that specific example I'm giving you goes up 20%, your $100 card is now $120, even though none of them sold, even though it has nothing to do with your card, it is just now 20% higher. That's it.
Nah, that's stupid.
I'm aware of that. I agree with this statement, and I've made this point numerous times. Yes, that's what it's based on.
I think something, and you mentioned Kenny, I think one thing to take away from all of this, and I think a lot of people understand this, and I know you and Dan talked a little bit about like the money laundering and that kind of thing, but the Pokemon sale and the father to the individual that purchased the Pokemon card, I actually thought that it was kind of good that he mentions the ad revenue that purchase created for his son and the venture and everything that he's trying to do in collectibles and stuff, because I think that's a part that needs to be focused on more. Is they can say that these are record-breaking sales or whatever, but a lot of it, and a lot of them are connected. Like a lot of even the people intertwined there. I look at the Dick's Sporting Goods buying the Paul Skeens. Dick's Sporting Goods didn't really need a damn Paul Skeens card, but they knew the advertisement that would create. And so when that Pokemon sale, the kid's dad said that it created like 200 million in ad revenue. So, when you look at it in that way, if they are buying these cards at these prices because they know it's going to get talked about and the advertising that it's going to bring to whatever they're trying to get into, in a sense, they're saving money in a way. It's free advertising. Plus, we know that they can write them off or whatever else as advertising expenses if they look at them that way. So, I mean, are they worth that much? I guess it depends on the way you look at it. In the advertising sense, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, look, if you treat it as a marketing expense, you can justify a lot of things. That's fine. But the reality is a lot of that stuff is temporary. Whatever you get out of it is a marketing expense. You're doing it in the short term. You write it off. You pay for the thing. There you go. but it is temporary. Like the value of the thing fades right after that. Like there's not a lot in it. So just to answer your question, Zach, just to give you the info, I'll include a link in the description for folks on the replay, just so you know. So this is a channel, the Sammy Thunder's YouTube channel. Here it is. And the series is called Cardboard and Cold Ones. So cheers. So yeah, I think it's on Thursday that we're doing it. I'll include a link. I'll let everybody know. I'll put a community post and all that together. So I'll let you guys know. But yeah, this is the channel in question. Keep an eye out on that. If you haven't already, feel free to check it out. And then, yeah, they invited me to come on and chat, and I'll leave it up to the guys, whatever they want to chat about. I assume there will be some vintage discussion. I can do that. So that's fine. But yeah, I'll leave it to them, and they can let me know what we want to talk about, and I'll be ready. But that's the answer to that question. Alf and Paul Orndorff were my childhood. That's right, Keith. You tell them. Now we are buying a necklace. Disappointed it wasn't made into a watch. We're going to do a follow-up comment on Ham here in a second. I wonder if he thinks he's going to hype it up for a few months and quick flip it for a few million. That's the entire purpose of Secure. All the items are being hyped up as we speak. Dakota says, it's almost like this is art that people pay to see. Listen, stop pimping your own videos. Just because you're like, ooh, we're calling it art. I'm fancy.
Also to mention since we touched on the Pokemon thing and the advertising and all that stuff, and Logan Paul's Rip It. I don't know if anyone's seen the $1 million Pokemon pack that was bid.
Okay. Right.
Apparently they had confirmed bidders turned on or whatever. Like they were trying to figure out the people running it, and Logan was there, and they thought at first maybe they didn't have it, and then somebody's like, no, we turned confirmed bidders on. Anyway, a single pack, and I think it was a modern Pokemon pack, if I'm not mistaken, but it got ran up to $1 million. And they said that they had confirmed bidders on, but credit to Logan. He doesn't do many things right. He said it doesn't matter if they have them turned on or not. He's not accepting the payment because, and I forgot how much he said the pack was actually worth, but he was like, hey, I can't do this. I can't. So credit to him, whether the person had a legitimate way to pay it or whatever. He said that he was not going to accept payment for it, but it was funny that the pack, like the bids were just constantly rolling. And it ended up like $900 and some $1,000, just under $1 million. So,
well, at this point, a lot of stuff is like funny money. Like it's not even real. So, give you folks a little bit of heads up. One of the conversations I'm going to be having this week, foreshadowing, is the idea, and this is not a shocker, but I just want to share with you, just to be clear on this, is that a lot of the complaints that people have about the whole grading thing, Brandon, the inconsistency thing, a lot of it gets mitigated because of the premiums on the high grades. If the gap, so if we use PSA because it's ubiquitous, but you could call it SGC. It doesn't matter. Pick whatever you want. If a 9 is worth $100, again, I'm keeping the numbers simple just to keep everybody in the game here. If a 9 is $100, but a 10 is $1,400, $1,500, the gap between a 9 and a 10 is so significant that if you feel like you got screwed out of a 10, it's a problem. If the gap was a 9 is $100 and a 10 is $120, $125,
nobody cares.
No one really gives a shit. They might be like, oh, that's a shame. I thought it was a 10, but they'll move on with their lives. Like they honestly will not spend a lot of time thinking about it if the gap is more manageable. It's the multiplier. It's the huge gaps. That's the problem. But it goes back to money, Brandon. It's the same thing that I talked about earlier tonight with the boxes. If the box is $100, I'm not saying $100 is not a lot of money, but I'm getting at in today's parlance, again, going back to what $100 is worth today versus 20, 30 years ago. $100 is not nothing, but it's also not as much as it once was. $100 will not buy you today what it would have bought you in 1998, 1995, 1990. Okay? So if the box is $100 and you don't pull anything great, you're annoyed. But it's not the end of the world. You're not losing your mind. But if you buy the same box and it's $1,000 and you pull nothing, you're pissed off, and justifiably so.
To rewind it over the grading thing, even if you did slim the margin, down some, it was a lot easier to swallow not getting the 10 or whatever grade you were hoping for when grading itself was cheaper. Correct. Because it's not always and obviously in reselling, I look at it the same way. It's not always about the profit end of it. Sometimes it's about what the cost is and where the amount that you could lose on it. And so, like with grading at what is PSA $25 now? You know, when it was $8 a card,
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
people didn't. Yeah, there was complaints, but it was mostly turnaround time. There wasn't as much complaining regarding the grades people were getting because, you know, if they didn't hit the 10 and they were hoping for the 10, okay, they spent $8 to get it graded. So it just puts it in a different perspective.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So one of the discussion points this week in some of the YouTube stuff was, do we care about value? Do we not care about value? As a collector, do you care about it more? Do you care about it less? And blah, blah, blah. And people can have this discussion, debate. Look, wherever you sit on that spectrum of it, spectrum, pun intended. By the way, I still think a BuzzFeed quiz to find out a score on a spectrum is stupid. Sorry. Anyway, the point is, though, regardless of where you fall on that, I don't care. That's fine. I'm okay with wherever you fall on that. The point is, though, we do still care about money from the perspective that we don't like to feel like we're getting ripped off. We don't like to feel like we're spending money needlessly when we don't have to. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm referring to here. You don't want to open boxes because you don't think it's a good value. You should buy singles. Totally cool. 100% agree. Completely fine. I still like opening boxes, but I like opening boxes at a reasonable price. That's the key. If I feel like I'm okay with the price point that I'm getting at, I'm willing to gamble a little. If the price point's no good, that's why we gave Lewi that example. We were talking about the Ultra. Those guys like the Ultra brand. They like the Ultra product. The problem, Brandon, wasn't that they didn't like it. The problem is they didn't like the price.
Right.
The price that it was coming at was not okay. And as a result, it wrecked the thing that they would otherwise have been very enthusiastically in favor of. And that's your issue. Because the exact same product, the exact same inserts, all of it, even with the silliness of the polygons and blah, blah, blah. Brandon, if it was 1/5 the price, nobody's complaining.
Yeah.
Nobody's batting an eye. We'll move on with our life. It might not be for you, but that's okay. Hey, guys, you enjoy, have a good time. The problem is the price point was so high that it doesn't work. That's the issue.
I've been clearly vocal about not opening wax, and I'll be honest. I was trying to see if my LCS had some of the Topps Chrome Olympic boxes, and I was trying to see what they were. I knew that they were going to be somewhere around 100, 120 bucks, which you might say, okay, why would you spend that on that product, but you don't want it on Topps baseball or whatever? And the fact was simple. It was, I could tell, and I actually spoke to someone that opened one. It's a fun rip. And I wasn't going to open it with the expectation of, you know, hitting a 6-figure or 5-figure card or whatever. There was people in it. It was a good checklist. There was a broad checklist of a mixture of athletes that, you know, participated in the Olympics or whatever. And so I thought at that price point, it could be something to sit down and me and her sit down and open a box up. Unfortunately, he didn't have any. But on the same token, when you look at some of the baseball products and everything else, and you know, like, the return, the value isn't there. Like when I'm buying singles or whatever, if I know that I can go get a very tough insert or a very low numbered serial number of the players I want, and I'm not interested in any of the other items in the product, then there's no sense in me spending the money to buy the box when most of it I'm not interested in. It's just adding more work for me to try to get rid of it, because the stuff that I want is going to be very unlikely that I'm going to get.
Right. So I think it's fair. Let me touch on that here in a second. I'll read a couple of comments and I'll get caught up. Carbon Plastic says Kevin O'Leary is also wearing 2 watches. Is modesty something to aspire to? Yeah, Kevin O'Leary is a special case. He's a special case in and of himself. Says Sammy and Jason are great guys. Yeah. No, I've had a little correspondence. I haven't spoken to Jason. I've had a little correspondence back and forth with Sammy. And he invited me, so I'll be happy to go on there. We'll have a good conversation. We'll have a good chat. It'll be fun. When I says it was the original year of Pokemon packs, speaking to one,
I thought it was a modern, but I might be wrong. I was just, it popped up on my feed, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I thought it was a modern pack. Maybe they had one on the table. I don't know.
That's fair. Ham says, "Is UD trying too hard to be Panini and Tops with the pricing?" One factor you got to break into this as well, Ham, though, is that Upper Deck's model is that they sell directly to distribution. I can tell you again, each product is different. Your mileage may vary, but so I'll give you an example. Perfect example of a product. Back in 2021 was the first year that Upper Deck did an AEW wrestling card product. The first product they ever released was a flagship Upper Deck AEW product. Again, flagship, its own thing, whatever. I remember it very well because it was the first one that came out of the blocks and it had a lot of hype to it. The product, I can tell you from reliable sources, was designed to be a product a fraction of the price of what it came out at. So Upper Deck sells the product to distribution. Distribution sees that a bunch of people want it and pump up the price. The end result was you had a flagship product that was selling for $300 a box. When you open the boxes, you realize, oh, there's nothing on here that's worth $300. It's not even close. So in other words, right out of the blocks, the people that are buying the boxes initially are getting destroyed because the boxes simply are not worth that. They're just not. And even the nicer cards on it barely hold the value. So the end result is a lot of people end up very disappointed. They end up very pissed off, correctly so. And Upper Deck is the one who takes a black eye because in the end of the day, that box, if the box was designed to be a fraction of the price with what's in it and the odds and all that, and you try to sell for 3 or 4 times what it actually should be, what do you expect is going to happen? Think about it. That's the answer. So remember, Topps/Fanatics has complete control over distribution. They have way more control than a lot of these other ones. Panini has been able to build more of a premium brand. They're charging probably too much, but they're kind of in the middle. Upper Deck, though, gives it to distribution. Distribution charges whatever it wants. The dealers get it at that third price, and then they mark it up themselves to try to make some money. That brings the prices up. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these prices, the problem that Fleer Ultra has, in this example we gave, is that Fleer Ultra was an EPAC product the last 4 years. EPAC only. They decided to do a little bit of physical distribution. Well, here's your problem, Brandon. You only did a low amount of physical distribution, and most of it is going to be on EPAC. So we haven't seen the majority of the volume and the rest of the singles available yet. They won't be available yet for a while. You've got these boxes that are way overpriced. So now they're going to sit on shelves, collect dust. The product is going to die on the vine, and then you're going to bring out the EPAC.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be hilarious. Good luck. Good luck selling that. Yikes. Dan says, I'm probably going to buy a box of Series 1. I saw the message, Brandon. Just give me 1 second. Saw a box of Series 1 in Philly and maybe rip it at the get-together. Hey, have fun. If you get any cool 91s, let me know. I like the 91s. Maybe I'll do a little set of them. I'm still thinking about it. I might do a set of the 91s. I like those. Top 6 Big League is a fun rip. Yeah, well, yeah, it is a bad model. Yeah. They've got their own questions and their own answers that they're going to have to figure out. But the bottom line is that I keep that in mind. I don't forget that if you don't control your own distribution, then you're at the mercy of the secondary market. And right now, the secondary market wants to pump everything up. It doesn't matter what it is. They want to try to extract as much money as possible. The problem is when you put distributors in the middle, well, the distributors are going to get their cut. And then the LCSs are getting it from the distributors, Brandon. So if you're already getting at a higher price point, you have to make something on it. Try to. The problem is the higher the price point is, the harder it is to sell. Mm-hmm. So what do? The truth is, the majority, and the dirty secret that no one wants to talk about, the majority of these products are money losers. Most of them are too damn high to actually be sellable without having to mark it down. The problem is if you're an LCS, you have to pay this money up front to the distributor to get this product that you know can't sell. And then eventually you have to sell it at a discount. Well, why do you buy it? Because if you don't buy that one, then they won't give you the one that will actually sell. They won't give you the one that will actually get you the money back.
Yeah, they're damn near like scraping to break even in some senses in a perspective of it. Like there's certain products that are going to be profitable, certain that are going to be a negative. And so you have to look and say, is the profit going to outweigh your negative? Or is it going to keep the lights on?
Yeah, I would.
And look, a lot of them have went, like a lot of shops go to breaking too, because they can make revenue there.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want to be in that business. I'll
No.
just leave it at that. I would not want to be anywhere near that business because I'm so reliant on things I can't control and prices I can't control. And then I have to try to sell a product where it's like, as soon as my customer opens the product and they're disappointed, now I have to answer to them and go like, well, why'd you sell me this? Why it isn't worth that? And then you have to sit there and look them in the eye and go like, I actually know that.
Yeah, my LCS, I think he's got a very smart business model because even if the card side like decreased a lot, he sells other stuff outside of cards. Like it's almost like a gift shop with a partition that's a card shop. And so, he's got sustainable goods there on Main Street of a downtown in a city. So he does okay there and still is able to run a card shop out of it. So
Mhm. Yep. And that's the key to it. Ham says, I wonder how the brass at UD spins this to why it's a great idea. They sold the product. As soon as they sell it the distribution, the product's sold. Arbordex sold it. It's done. They've made their money. That's the answer. That's the answer to your question. The answer to your question is the moment you sell it to distribution, the product's sold. What happens in the secondary market is not actually your problem. Long term, it probably is your problem because the more the perception is that you're not giving a good value proposition, that's not a good thing. But it's already sold. So as soon as the distribution takes it from you, they've taken the problem out of your hands and now it's on them. Well, they're going to mark it up. And then the LCS is going to mark it up. And then and then the person at the end of the line is the customer. Yes. Mm-hmm. Maybe, Brandon, we'll close off. This is as we tail off. Maybe, Brandon, the appropriate thing is to give a visual representation of how this looks.
Does
pretty
that help?
much.
Does that help?
Pretty much. Yep.
I just thought I would give a visual representation. I felt that the visuals really help. Just thought it would help out. I do what I can. All right. That's it. Bonus Monday Live. Hopefully you folks enjoyed. Hit the like button on the way out. I charge Eric for it all the way through front and back. You're welcome, Ham. And best of luck, Florida man. Best of luck. May the taco packets be forever in your favor. But yes, thank you to Lewi for joining us earlier tonight. Eric was here. That's it. That's about as far as I'm willing to acknowledge. Brandon, Bobbles, and Baller Cards, known associated 540 Flips. Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us this evening. Thank you. If you do check this out on replay, feel free to ask any questions or comments in the comments section. Happy to review it on the next episode. Again, this won't be live all the time, but once in a while, when there's no crazy topic, we'll go for it. It is what it is. We'll make it happen. Look at that. That's a great message to go off on. Every day is a gift. 100% emoji. Like, subscribe, comment, go to Dustin's video and vote for us for fake Hall of Fame so I can make him spend way too much money to send a bowling pin. Because apparently that's a thing. Maybe I'll figure out the link and I'll put it in the description in the post. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, that's it for us. Have yourselves a good night. Take it easy.